Getting nasty on a Monday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN 203. Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. Appreciate everybody joining us. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Cardinals
had a great weekend, right?
They won a game.
There you go.
And they were close in another.
They were close, and really, they were close all weekend, guys.
And that's not what matters.
No.
All right.
Especially at this time of year.
Shohei showed up, right?
He did. He had
a couple home runs.
Yeah, he had 2 home runs, had a massive one yesterday.
Guy's pretty good.
Had a home run on Friday as well.
Watching the game, they were pretty loud. It sounded like a lot of Dodger fans in attendance.
Yeah, they travel well, Carey.
All the way from L.A.?
I just think it was the best fans in baseball cheering on the opposition because they respect him so much.
I honestly thought that was a possibility. I'm like, are they cheering for
I saw people in Cardinals
greatness?
jerseys standing up and applauding when he hit a home run.
Can I say
That
something?
person right there should be stripped of their Cardinals jerseys.
I don't know if we have to go that far.
I don't think you want to strip them.
I just think they appreciate good baseball. Yeah, when they see it.
I don't want to look up and see my hometown, my home fans cheering for the opposition.
Well,
it's frustrating.
Maybe you'll send a message to the front office.
The national narrative of St. Louis is, I was watching ESPN on Saturday. That's when the Cardinals won the game, right? Was that the day?
That was Saturday.
Saturday, yes.
Okay, so the ESPN was showing the highlights. Shohei hits a home run. He stole a base. Cardinals won 5-2. He didn't show one Cardinal highlight. He didn't show. Dodgers lost it, but Shohei is really awesome. Like,
He's incredible.
It's frustrating.
I mean, that's the story, though. Mm-hmm. The story.
Why isn't it the Cardinals? Why
You
aren't?
know why?
No, you explain. I want you to explain it to me like I'm a 5-year-old.
They're not good.
Okay,
and they're not interesting.
All right. Well, that explains it. Then.
I mean, if you're just talking about from a TV standpoint,
Anthony, I'm going to need you to be more honest.
They're not interesting. They're not.
I think that's a little BS, though, because Mason Wynn hit a home run, and he's one of your young stars in the league. I think you should at least give him some love, regardless of where the Cardinals are in the standings. I think that's an interesting move on ESPN.
He's a young star, but
ESPN has a small window to drop in highlights.
I get that.
Are they going to go with Ohtani or Mason Wynn?
I'd rather them show highlights than have some of these other shows on their network.
Used to be that way.
Speak of?
Used to be that way.
What shows do you talk of?
Used to have the highlights, and then they would repeat the show.
Golf.
Give me the old ESPN or the old Sports Center where I'd wake up and see literally every highlight.
Everything.
Of every game.
And
then repeated. Hour after hour
long.
After hour.
In case you missed one at 7:30, you can see it again at 8:30. Mm-hmm. That's how that works.
The rinse repeat.
It's Entertainment Network now. Yeah. If Mason Wynn played for the Dodgers, though, Marsh, you probably see his highlights, right?
For sure.
So it's a Dodger thing, not a Mason Wynn thing.
Marshy's just angry. He doesn't like St. Louis being second fiddle. I can see it in his eyes. It rubs him the wrong way.
Well, no, I mean...
And when you rub Marshy the wrong way, this is what you get.
What are you fiddling with over there?
Yeah.
Okay. Marshy.
No. Nah.
Well, his emotions.
You probably should make sure that that's okay.
He's fine.
All right.
No, I agree. The Cardinals,
He's leaning into it.
The Cardinals don't deserve any recognition because they're not good right now.
11 games back in the division.
Come on. Baseball is down. Let's show some of the young stars.
Brandon in the snake pit said, Anthony, it's your fault. You're Brandon. Not the other Brandon.
Why is it my fault? I wore the glasses last week.
You don't believe enough.
See, Brandon dipped out for a while.
He did.
He missed a show or two. He was frustrated. And I'm pretty sure the show that he missed was the one that I was all about the Cardinals. I was trying to rally the troops. No, they lost 9-2 that night. So
it is your fault.
I did my part.
It is your fault.
No, I just think this team is painfully now below average. How about yesterday? It's the same theme each and every series that they lose. One game the bullpen blows up. One game the starter's not great, although the starting pitching was fine over the weekend. One game the offense doesn't show up, and pretty much every game, even the games they win, they leave a small army on the base pass.
Now, I think we've talked about this really time and time again. that when, two phases are going well, one phase probably lets you down. The pitching and the defense, outstanding. Hitting, not so much. And you get good defense, good hitting. Pitching was left a lot to be desired. It's been that way all season. And in my experience of playing sports for a long time, Jamie, watching sports, coaching sports, that generally speaks to a team that ain't really good. Like inconsistency. If your best thing you do is be inconsistent, you're probably not going to make the playoffs. You may not have a winning season. And eventually people are going to get fired. That's how sports go. Professional sports, when teams stink for multiple years, people lose their jobs, whether that's on the field or in the front office, in the dugout. Like somebody eventually has to pay, air quotes, for what's taking place on the field. And so that's kind of where I am at with this Cardinals team right now.
It's hard to, I don't know if you guys feel this way, but it's also hard to see this team really not build toward anything. Jordan Walker's now playing a little bit more. Mason Wynn, young stud at shortstop. Alec Burleson with a huge game on Saturday. He's been fantastic. Donovan's a really good player. What else do they build? But the pitching staff, are you building anything right now? Are you building towards something?
With what?
Because you could be a young team. Like at some point, I think.
I almost spit my water out. He was so sincere when he asked you that. With what?
That's what I'm saying. What are you building for? That's my point. At some point today, we're going to talk about. I think we're previewing the NFC East. The Commanders are not a good team, but they're building towards something. The Cardinals are an average team building toward nothing, in my opinion.
With aging players. Like severely aging.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is why you're not only average, below so now, and uninteresting.
How much do you think this fan base will lose their minds if after next year, or even after this year, Cardinals just decide to go into a full rebuild? Because of all the old guys that they have on contract now, like let's just think Goldie, Gibson, Carpenter, Crawford, Lance Lynn, like that whole slew of, like they just at one point just go, we're done with this. It's not working.
Yeah.
We're done. So now we're going to just rip it, tear it down to the studs and go with the young guys. When you could have done it 2 years ago.
Yeah. So what would that look like?
It would look like...
It's mostly the pitching staff, right? That's really what we're talking about. Moving on from Goldschmidt.
It's everything.
It's trying to find a spot for Arenado. Call the Dodgers, call the Yankees.
Sure.
You'll go to a team that has a chance to win, and we're putting Jordan Walker at third base or Nolan Gorman at third base where they were drafted to play from the beginning.
Yeah.
Maybe Walker goes over to first, maybe Burley at first, whatever the case.
Sure.
But that's what your team would look like. It'd look like maybe Gorman at third, Wynn at second, or Wynn at shortstop, Donovan at second, and Burley/Walker at first, and then figure out your outfield from there.
I love it.
I say, why not?
I love it.
Well, you could go, yeah.
Like, all of those players now have enough experience to where it's not like a full, like, Oakland A's rebuild or some of those teams that were terrible.
Yeah, they're not trying.
Like, if Gorman plays on a regular basis, maybe he finds a groove that's better
probably hits 35 home runs.
And maybe his strikeout rate is better than what it is.
He's still going to strike out.
Still going to strike out. Carey, you're right. It's just the way it is, okay? That's how it works these days. Now, Jordan Walker, he gets regular reps. Mason Wynn's only going to get better. Brendan Donovan, you know what you've got there. And you head into the outfield, you've got Siani, Victor Scott, you've got Newt, you got Burley or Walker, however you want to slice it up here.
Yeah.
Like, that roster's not terrible.
I'd be good with that. Let the kids play. At some point today, we're going to talk about Dylan Carlson. What's the biggest difference from him producing now as opposed to in St. Louis? He's getting an opportunity. He's playing every day.
Maybe he's getting different coaching, too.
He might be as well.
I haven't said
we do
that,
have to discuss that.
But at some point, yes, at some point, when all of these guys who are like guys who can't even play on your team anymore, and you ship them off for spare parts, and then immediately, like 1 week after being there, something clicks.
Yeah. But he hasn't. It's not like he's been down there for a long time. It's not like.
What if it's one
not like
small
the coach?
thing?
I think the kid's getting an opportunity to play. They want to mix and match constantly. You're going to get mix and match. You're not going to get enough at bats. I think the same thing happened in Washington with Lane Thomas. Lane Thomas got there all of a sudden. He started to hit. Randy Rosarina got to Tampa Bay, started to hit. He's getting opportunities. These guys are playing. That's my opinion. But we can also have a conversation about the coaching staff. But get back to your point about, the pitching. You charged up to Graceffo. Yeah, bring him up.
McGreevy, Graceffo.
I'd be fine with that.
Hughes kid is throwing grease BBs down in Double-A. I'm not saying he's a major leaguer next year, but move him up to Triple-A before the end of the season.
Yeah.
Then in spring training, who knows? Tink Hence, same thing. And so what if you've got a Palante, Sonny Gray, because you're not going to get rid of Sonny Gray. He's a good pitcher. And
you might not be able to get rid of Arenado. And I don't think, and not that you want to.
Well, I think you'd find a buyer for Arenado.
I don't know with that contract, man. You're going to have to eat a lot of it.
Eat it. The contract, Jamie.
Yeah, no, well said.
Yeah.
If you can.
If you can. But so what if you do? With the cost control players that you have, like it's an offset.
Right.
Like, because you're not paying Goldie.
Yeah.
So there's 25 to 27 million gone. Gone off the books. You're replacing them with Jordan Walker or Burleson, which is minimal.
Sure. Yeah.
So you're gaining probably 20 million in there somewhere. So if you have to eat 10 million of Arenado's deal per season, big deal. You eat it and you move on.
Yeah. All right. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. What are the Oilers preparing for leading up to tomorrow's offer sheet deadline? They made some moves over the weekend that may have Blues fans and us concerned. We'll talk about it next on 101 ESPN.
When it comes to selling your home, you're going to need a reliable, experienced, and trusted real estate agent. Take it from me. Get to know St. Louis's real estate expert, Gloria Liu, with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. She has mastered the art of selling homes, and she also will sit down with you and agree upon a sales price with you and sell your home for that price and the exact time frame. And if she doesn't, she will buy it herself, and she puts all that in handwriting. She guarantees it. And does your real estate agent have a database with thousands of ready, willing, and able buyers to drive traffic to your listing? Probably not. Well, Gloria Liu does. And that speeds up the process of selling your home. You'll get more showings if that's what you want. Maybe multiple offers, which hopefully leads to more money for you in your pockets. And Gloria Liu makes sure that everything is done properly so you get to the closing table as a satisfied seller. And all you have to do is call Gloria Liu. Tell her Jamie Rivers sent you in. That number's 314-325-6888. Again, that's 314-325-6888. Or you can always visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. And as always, Gloria and the seller must agree upon the price and possession date.
So the Oilers made some moves over the weekend that might have us a little concerned based on the Blues and Doug Armstrong signing the two guys last week to offer sheets. It's the Fast Line on 101 at ESPN. Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter, former Blues defenseman Jamie Rivers. Jamie, should we be somewhat concerned that the moves that the Oilers made over the weekend, and please, provide some details for people that may have missed it, should we be concerned that this could lead to the Blues getting only one of the players that they signed to restricted offer sheets last week, or none?
Yeah, it could be either scenario. So what the Oilers managed to do yesterday is trade a defenseman, Cody Ceci, who's making $3.5 million. They got rid of that off the books, and that coupled with the $5 million or whatever that they're going to get in LTIR money, they could potentially bring back Broberg and Holloway. But I don't necessarily know if that's going to happen. Because I look at the Oilers' situation with their team, and Leon Draisaitl's making $8.5 million this year. He's an unrestricted free agent following this season. Their number one priority is extending Leon Draisaitl. He's not going to make 8.5. He's going to make somewhere on the $13 million mark.
Yeah.
So that's a significant raise, which, by the way, that raise equals pretty much the dollar value of what you're letting leave in Broberg and Holloway. So I don't know if the Oilers are going to match these offers. And the reason being is they're so inflated, like well beyond what either player should be making. So the Oilers would have to then say, okay, we're going to do really bad business here, and we're going to match the Broberg contract. We're going to pay him 3 times what he's worth for 2 years. And at the same time, that's going to take away money that we can use for Leon Draisaitl to bring him back. I just don't know if that's the case. They made a trade with San Jose. They acquired a good young left-handed shot defenseman, a little bit older, I think a year and a half older than Broberg, but played 19 minutes a game in San Jose. Maybe that's their version of the replacement for him. And guess what? He's only making like $950,000. Mm-hmm. So you're gaining cap space there as well. And what the Oilers don't have is draft picks. They don't have draft picks. So the upcoming draft next year, guys, they don't have a draft pick until it looks like the 5th round.
Yeah.
So if they don't match the offer sheets, they get a 2nd and a 3rd rounder from the Blues immediately. So all of a sudden, 2025's draft year looks a little bit better for them. Mm-hmm. So all of these things put together leaves me in a spot where I don't know exactly what they're going to do. And rumor has it they're going to make the announcement sometime later on today, hopefully before we get off the air so we can discuss it in real time. But Army also a masterclass of submitting the contract early in the morning. So last Tuesday, remember we all woke up to this. Yeah. Whoa, right. What's going on? Well, Army did that on purpose because the Oilers operate at Mountain Time. So they're an hour behind us here. So 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time is 7:30 a.m. Mountain Time, which means the Oilers have no runway tomorrow to work any kind of a deal. So the 7 days actually became 6 days for the Oilers.
Gotcha.
So, because the Oilers wake up at 5 a.m. to try and do some business or figure things out. Nobody else is answering the phone.
Yeah.
Like, nah, we're good. We're good. Mm-hmm. Not open for business just yet. So all of these things combined with this crazy, weird thing, I'm just not sold that the Oilers made all of these moves to match the inflated contracts.
Yeah.
But if they do, I would imagine they would target the Broberg deal. He's the bigger piece of the puzzle here. And I think that's why Army went in with such a heavy offer, is because he wanted to not guarantee, but increase his odds of landing that one player who's going to cost a substantial amount more than Holloway and way more than what he's worth right now.
Yeah.
So I think that was the strategy.
I think it was, obviously Army made that decision knowing that it would put the Oilers in a tough predicament, right? And so so I guess you're saying he didn't mind overpaying for those players, knowing the cap issues that the Edmonton Oilers have and that you have more room on your cap. I think it's a great idea, and I think hopefully it works out for him and for the Blues because, the more additions that they can have. It's funny, we talk about the Cardinals and, their lack of additions and willing to, make competition. And here the Blues are like, we haven't made the playoffs, We traded players away a couple of years ago. This year, we still didn't make it, and we're going to do what we need to do to add competition and make sure the best players are on the ice at all times.
Plus, there's a vision there. I completely agree with what you just said from an on-ice standpoint, but there's a vision that Doug Armstrong is laying out for us, and it dated back to the trade deadline 2 years ago, when he started to make certain moves and started to acquire certain players. There's a vision there. He's not filling the gaps with guys that are on their last legs that could provide veteran leadership. He's trying to go for guys that have the high ceilings but just haven't panned out. More times than not, it's a 50-50 proposition whether or not the veteran's going to work out. Same deal with the young guy who's been bounced around a little bit. The guy, Verana, for example. I like that Army has got a vision of how he's building his team and also how he's filling in the depth stuff that you're talking about, his depth needs.
With a guy like Verana, though, that was like low risk, high reward.
Exactly.
Like I can give this guy a chance, and if he really he flies, we know he has the potential to be really good. If he's not, we didn't pay him a lot. We're going about our business, and it's not that big of a deal. Whereas when we look at the Cardinals, it doesn't feel like there's low risk, high reward. It's like we're going to do, it's like the stock market. You have some people that really take risks, and we might lose a lot of money, but if we make it, we're going to blow this thing out of the water. Then you got people that say, yeah, I don't mind just matriculating the ball down the field and gaining a little money here and there. And then you got people right in the middle. And the Cardinals we're right there in the middle. We're going to gain some. We're going to lose some. Hopefully we gain more than we lose, and we'll keep going about our day.
Say it.
I did it again, didn't I?
Say
I did
it.
Mo. What, risk adverse?
Net.
Hopefully, preferably. Right in the middle there. Win some, you lose some, but you win more than you lose.
If we make a penny, it's a penny more than we had in yesterday.
It also seems like Doug Armstrong has not only a plan A, but a plan B and a plan C, right? Like, if they don't get Broberg, you still have a bunch of other defensemen, and then you get a Dylan Holloway. It almost seems like he knew that the Oilers would do something like this and almost panic and then put themselves in a bad spot that would ultimately hurt their team, not maybe for this upcoming season, which it might, but next year, the following year. What do those contracts look like with Draisaitl, with Bouchard? And then Armstrong is like, you know what? We have our team. These guys are sort of the extra cherries on top.
Sure.
And if we don't get both of them, it is what it is. I already have a plan set in place. If we do get them, then I have a plan set for that. If we don't get either of them, well, I have a plan for that too, and we're going to go with what we have already. And by the way, we just made a very difficult situation. We made it very difficult for one of the teams that we're competing with in the Western Conference, and now their organization is in disarray.
Zachary from the Snake Pit says, aren't Sutter and Fox the last legs veteran leadership guys? Fox I wouldn't put into that category, no. But my point overall is that the two guys that Army just extended those offer sheets to, they're not. Those are guys that do have upside still. The two, Verana and Kapanen that he got a couple, two deadlines ago. Those two guys were roll the dice guys that were younger. It's not Brandon Crawford followed by Matt Carpenter followed by Lance Lynn. There's a huge difference. I'm not saying never go for the veteran guys. Once you have an idea,
you need some balance too.
Exactly, you have a balance to it. But once you have an idea of now we have there's certain areas where we can add to this roster. Still, what do we want to go with? If you got those veteran guys, why not roll the dice on some of these other dudes?
There's one piece here that I forgot to mention too. Is Evander Kane is a big part of this with the LTIR money. Problem with that is that he's coming back late December or early January. Evander Kane will be back.
So you need that money.
You'll need $5.1 million that you can use. So at that point, the Oilers, they would have to make a drastic move at that point again, mid-season, to cut salary down, which is why I think the Oilers, with the moves that they made, they shed some salary in Cody Ceci, brought back another young defenseman that they can play in their top 4, top 5, type situation. They got another forward that they brought in, kind of the same player as Holloway, for cheaper. He's $1 million. The defenseman Emberton is $950, or Emberson, sorry, Ty Emberson. He's $950. Now you've got plenty of cap space when Evander Kane comes back.
Sure.
So this is why I'm not convinced the Oilers, with these moves that they made, are going to match the offers, because then they find themselves in cap hell halfway through the season. So we'll see.
All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We have What's Trending next.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals dropped 2 of 3 to the Dodgers over the weekend, a 2-1 loss yesterday for the Cardinals. They have today off, but they'll take on the Milwaukee Brewers tomorrow as Eric Fetty will take the mound, going up against Frankie Montas. First pitch is at 6:45. If you missed anything from today's show, including our conversation about the Blues and the Oilers, and that deadline for those offer sheets is tomorrow morning. We'll continue talking about that throughout the remainder of the show. We'll keep you updated if there are updates to come our way while we are on air. But if you missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Just head to the podcast page. You'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We have What's Trending coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at Londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's time to find out what's going on in the sports world with What's Trending Now. Brought to you by Goodwill. Donate a car and get tickets to the St. Louis Cardinals.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter, Jamie Rivers, and Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending.
Snake Pit's active today, Marshy. Snake Pit's real active.
Snake Pit's very active. They've had a long weekend to think of things they'd like to type, and I am thoroughly entertained.
I just read what DJ Patty Cakes just said. I understand why you're laughing now. There we go.
Splashback Deuce is in there, too. The elbows are high this morning, I'll tell you that.
Well, anyways, there's an article on The Athletic, why the Pirates face an added temptation to shut down Paul Skeens. This isn't the first time we've seen the team do this with a young pitcher. If this is to happen, though, in Pittsburgh, where does this place Mason Wynn amongst all of the rookies in terms of Rookie of the Year? Do you still think it's Paul Skeens' award to win?
I do.
But really?
Yeah.
If they shut him down right now.
Here's my argument to what you're saying, Anthony.
Yeah.
Is he started the season? He didn't start the season with the big club, and now he's finishing early. So, is it a Rookie of the Year season or a Rookie of the Year blurb? You know what I'm saying? Like, how many games has Paul Skeens pitched in?
He has pitched in, let's see, Paul Skeens.
Because the Pirates have fallen out of contention here.
Yeah, they've been stinking.
They're done. So there's no reason to push the kid too far, but I also want to know what he's pitched.
He has made, let's see here. He's 7-2, 16 games started.
He what?
Yeah,
Sorry?
you're right. He's half a season.
16 games.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
for comparison's sake, a starter that pitches a full season's 32.
Right.
32, 33.
so this is not my argument. This is my point is you're going to give him Rookie of the Year for half a season? Like, what if the back half looks terrible? Mm-hmm. Not that it will, but you know.
Yeah, there's an argument to be made. Now he was ungodly in those 16 games, but it's half a season. You're right. I still think it'll probably go to him.
What about Merrill? Jackson Merrill's having a hell of a year.
That's your bigger problem. If you're hoping that Mason Wynn's going to win the Rookie of the Year, Jackson Merrill has been fantastic for San Diego. I don't think that Mason Wynn is going to get National League Rookie of the Year over Jackson Merrill. There's also I'm not saying that these guys should win it. There's also an argument to be made for Jackson Churio of Milwaukee, Shota Imanyaga from Chicago, even Tyler Fitzgerald from the Giants. You know, Mason Wynn has played more games than Fitzgerald, but Fitzgerald was the one that came up and just started hitting home runs immediately. Michael Busch from Chicago is going to be in the mix. Again, I'm not ranking those guys ahead of Wynn. I'm just saying Mason Wynn's got more than a Paul Skeens issue to win Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
He's
if it's not Skeens, I'm sure it's going to be Jackson Merrill.
I'm looking at what they have, the betting odds. He's last at plus 9,000. Well,
Mason Wynn is?
Yep. Michael Busch, him and Michael Busch are plus 9,000. Tyler Fitzgerald plus 5,000. Shota Imanyaga plus 5,000. Jackson Churio. Merrill is plus 140. Skeens is minus 180.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Guys, as you know, I'm wearing yellow and purple, or purple and gold, because the NFL is upon us, the regular season, that is.
Colors.
And I'm supporting my Vikings, which means I'm supporting my defensive coordinator, Brian Flores.
Oh.
You're the only one today.
That is true. And why do you say that, Anthony? Well, that's because Tua Tagovailoa was on the Dan Le Batard show throwing shade at his former head coach, Brian Flores. Let's take a listen to the audio and then react to what he had to say and see if that changes your mind on Tua or Brian Flores.
To put it in simplest terms, if you woke up every morning and I told you you suck at what you did, that you don't belong doing what you do, that you shouldn't be here, that this guy should be here, that you haven't earned this right, and then you have somebody else come in and tell you, dude, you are the best fit for this. Like, you are accurate, you are the best whatever, you are this, you are that. Like, how would it make you feel listening to one or the other? You see what I'm saying? And then you hear it, regardless of what it is, the good or the bad, and you hear it more and more, you start to actually believe that. I don't care who you are. You can be the president of the United States. You have a terrible person that's telling you things that you don't want to hear, or that you probably shouldn't be hearing. You're going to start to believe that about yourself. And so that's sort of like what ended up happening. And it was, I mean, it's basically been, 2 years of training that out of not just me, but, a couple of the guys as well that have been here since my rookie year all the way till now.
I thought that Urban Meyer coached in a different city in the state of Florida.
Yeah. No, you're right, Marsh. He was
Brian
in Jacksonville.
Yeah. Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
This is Brian Flores.
Brian Flores, contrast to Mike McDaniel now is what Tua, that was Tua Tagovailoa, he's talking about. Is that surprising a bit? Because
Very.
Right?
Yeah, it's very surprising because
I don't think Tua's lying though.
Well, I don't have any reason to doubt that, but I wonder.
He's a dolphin.
Why would you? You're right. He's not a lion. He's a dolphin.
It's good. Good call.
Thank you. I don't know why Brian Flores would. Why would you attack a young quarterback in that way? That's going to be on your roster. There's nothing that is going to be done about it. It's not like he could trade him away at that moment. He was in his first or second year when Flores was still there. First year, second. So
that was the whole Ryan Fitzpatrick.
It was the first and second year, correct? He was
mess.
Under him. I don't know why you would do that, but it's mind-boggling that you are a head coach and you can have the audacity to talk to some of your players in that way.
Do some coaches, guys, you would know better, obviously, than Marsh and I would. Do some coaches they just believe they're going to motivate that way? Like
not as a professional.
Okay.
Like that's more for me. That was more collegiate. Like talking crazy and saying wild things, and you're like, dude, you. Yeah. But when you get to the pros, I've seen professional athletes. I saw a teammate throw his helmet at the O-line coach and say, "Fast lane, you do it. I'm not doing nothing else. Rest of practice, I'll sit here. There ain't no way you're gonna talk to me like that." He's a veteran, starting left tackle.
Yeah. That's the thing, though, a veteran, right?
Yeah, but even that's a first round pick. Like, you don't see that.
And a quarterback.
But
you
maybe
don't see
Brian
that.
Flores, you see this a lot in coaching when you get a highly touted young player on your roster. Sometimes the coach feels like they have to make an example of that player to make sure that everybody knows that nobody gets treated special. Now, Carey, it's the wrong type of thinking. I get it. But I still see it in some coaches that are coaching. The young guys are at the bottom of the barrel. They're at the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
Now, even though the young guys now are what the future is for your franchise, so they are what you make of them. In this case, the quarterback, he is what you make of him.
Right.
And at the first glance, you're like, oof, I don't know about this guy.
Yeah.
But now you find out that the coach is sitting there making sure the rookie doesn't feel too comfortable there.
And I've seen it also where the coach is yelling at the younger player, but he's actually talking to the superstar.
Yeah.
Like, I can't yell at him,
but the young player doesn't know what's going on.
Bill Walsh used to do that with his coaching staff. He's like, he'd go to the quarterback coach. He's like, you got to have him put bubble, and he's just screaming it because he's not going to do it to Montana or he's not going to do it to Rice or whatever.
Yeah.
So the coaches will turn around and get on their players.
Yeah, and I've seen that strategy. In fact, I've used that that strategy
Yeah.
before. I've told my assistant coaches, listen, I'm going to come down and I'm going to lay into you for what that kid just did.
Yeah.
He's going to know that he just did everything I just described. But he's also going to feel like he let you down.
Yeah.
So he's going to start to pick it up. Like there is a psychology to it, but there's no psychology to just kicking a guy down
Especially
all the time.
a rookie.
All the time.
A rookie quarterback. Like, that doesn't make a lot of sense.
Well, obviously it didn't work.
No.
He's not there anymore, regardless of whatever situation went on.
Tua is thriving.
And McDaniel is there, and that offense is a juggernaut. They're different. They've got Tyreek, and they've got some other pieces,
He led the league in passing to Tua last year. Is Dylan Carlson the latest Cardinal to find success elsewhere? The answer is yes, even for a short period of time. Question's why? That's next on 101 ESPN.
If you're looking to save money on your car insurance or your home insurance, please call Tracy Bibb and the Bibb Agency. They work with Allstate Insurance, and they're always going to be sitting there doing their best to get you the best rate, but also make sure that you're completely covered the way you should be. And that's the biggest mistake that people make pretty much with all their insurance is we all want the lowest price, but you can't sacrifice the coverage. And it's not if something happens, it's when something happens. You don't want to find out at that point that you are undercovered or you don't have the proper insurance. And that's where the Bibb Agency and Tracy Bibb come in. They treat you like family. They're not just some 1-800 number that you call once every so often. They're going to remember who you are. They're going to pull your policy up immediately. And not only that, they look at your policies yearly. They go through your policies to make sure that everything's up to date and that everything's proper so that you don't have a situation where you're not covered properly or you don't have the right insurance. That's why the Bibb Agency is my agency of choice, and it's got to be yours as well. And all you have to do for a free non-committal quote is call 314-328-4260. That's 314-328-4260. It's no fib. You're in good hands with Tracy Bibb.
this one in 12. It's an 8-7 final.
Dylan Carlson is having himself a nice start to the Tampa Bay Rays tenure. It's Fastlane on 101 at ESPN. By nice start, this is what we mean. Here are the numbers. And our guy T-Bone, Tanner Hendrickson, actually posted them on Twitter. 293 average, 383 on base, 537 slug, 920 OPS. That's Dylan Carlson's slash line since he was traded. That's his slash line with the Rays. Let's get this out of the way
that
first.
Guy's an all-star.
Yeah, those numbers, he might be. Let's get this out of the way first. Very small sample size. The trade deadline was just a couple of weeks ago. It's not like he's been doing this for half a season. It's not like he's doing this for a full season. However, are you guys surprised?
No.
Why do you?
Absolutely not.
I think that you guys I think actually we all have different viewpoints on this as to in terms of why Dylan Carlson or any former Cardinal has immediate success. But I think it all kind of goes in the same melting pot. So Jamie, go ahead. Why do you think that Dylan Carlson and a lot of these other Cardinals go someplace else and immediately pop off?
Well, there's a few things, right? Like the obvious thing is it's a fresh start. So whatever negativity or struggles you were having, they're pretty much gone. I know this because I went through it. So if you're having a tough time, you weren't playing a lot, you have an opportunity when you go to your new team to reset the market for you, because they'll look at what you've done for them. Because teams are like, okay, we traded for, he's our player now. Can't go off of what was going on before because we weren't coaching him. We didn't give him playing time. We like none of that. So what you do for us is what we're going to figure out how we're going to use you moving forward. So I think that's a key to it right there. Is Dylan Carlson right away has a fresh opportunity to make an impact. Two, guys, I have to say, I've never thought specifically that there was something coaching-wise that the Cardinals were missing until this very moment. Like Lane Thomas, he left, and all these guys that left and went on to play better and whatnot. You're always like,
Right.
I'm starting to think it's coaching or a philosophy overall. Because Dylan Carlson leaves, and yes, it's a very small sample size. I get it. I'm not sitting here crowning him, an all-star player.
Yeah.
But why? Why can you go from not being able to bat left-handed at all to the point where we're like, he just bat right-handed, give up on the switch hitting. Then he gets to Ding Dong Johnson hitting left-handed for the Rays.
Yeah, and was it his first game or second game?
Whatever.
I think it was his first game.
I think it was his first game too.
So it's like, so what happened? So maybe there's something, and the Rays are pretty famous for this, is finding things that unlock players. Mm-hmm. They don't keep them because they can't afford them.
Right.
But they do a great job of unlocking certain things for players.
Yeah. And then moving them.
And then moving them on. That's right.
Yeah.
But so Dylan Carlson now, he goes into Tampa. He's always been a very good defensive player. Never Gold Glove, but he's very solid, So now he's playing really good in the field for them. And he's playing really good offensively from both sides of the plate. What have they unlocked? Like, what did somebody sit there and go, oh, hang on, just do this little thing here, tweak this. All right, here you go. Give it a shot. See how that works. Mm-hmm. Like, what's going on? That's the part that's where I question the coaching here.
For me, I agree. It's frustrating to see other players. Like, it does lead you to question why can someone else not have? Is it just the opportunity? Is it just giving guys opportunities, whether they're having success in that moment or not, whether they're doing well in that moment or not? Is it that simple? Because you're getting more at bats, meaning you're getting more bites at the apple, more opportunities, and so you're going to be better? Or is it, like Jamie said, that they are leaving here and figuring something out, someone else? And here's the thing. All coaches are not created equal. Like, there are some really good coaches in some organizations, and there are some really bad coaches in other organizations. And sometimes you can have talent and still be good despite the poor coaching. But sometimes you have an organization that may not have as talented players, but someone can unlock something for you. So I don't know if it's that the Cardinals aren't able to unlock those things in some of these players, but I do know it is a cause for concern when you have players that leave here and go and have success. And then you look around in the outfield, you look at a Lars Nootbaar, you look at a Jordan Walker, and you say, these guys might not be able to play that well. Mm-hmm. And then you may trade them, and then they go and have success. Then it is a Cardinal issue, and it's not that player specifically.
So we get an interesting text here from the 618. says that Carlson said something interesting over the weekends, obviously through an interview that this texter was watching. He said he feels like he has more freedom with the Rays. So it kind of made it sound like what we're hearing, that the Cardinals take a one-size-fits-all approach. So now let's marry this to Jordan Walker. Like, is it a philosophical thing now that the Cardinals are, I don't want to say ruining, that's a strong word, are holding back players because they want them to be a certain way, a way that maybe they're not? And maybe Dylan Carlson's been trying to do something the Cardinals want him to do for the last 2 seasons, but not really feel like, not the stuff he did when he got drafted. Because Anthony knows, I've talked openly about this. Like, players are a certain way when you draft them. That's why you drafted them. And then you get them and you try to change them or tweak them or improve, in air quotes. Sometimes it's not improving. Sometimes a player gets in his own head so much and doesn't even know what the hell he is anymore. Am I good defensively? Am I good offensively? I don't know. Can I hit left-handed? I don't know anymore. Whereas then the Rays grab him and say, hey, no, listen, man, go to you.
There's something to that as well, though. The overlook, like looking over your shoulder and not being able to play your game and always constantly worrying, oh, my God, if I don't do well right now, I'm going to be sitting out for the next 2 days. I'm not going to play versus the next couple of pitchers because I didn't have success. I didn't go 3 for 4 tonight. I went 0 for 4. And I don't know when the next chance I'm going to get to bat is. Like, there is something, especially when you're a younger player, not having a career – not having a career, having length in your career yet, not having a lot of games under your belt and a lot of opportunities where you start to feel like maybe I'm pressing too much and I'm worrying too much because I know the moment I don't have success, I'm going to sit down. The coach is going to sit me down because they don't trust me. And there's a level of, like, we talk so much about just on the field, your play. But the mental aspect of an athlete is the thing that allows you to have success. It's not about, like, all of those men that play for the Cardinals, that play for the Rays, they are good players. They are probably the best players on their high school team, best players in AAA, AA, college, wherever they were. And that's why they are in the majors. So they can play. That's why I always laugh when people talk about the 15th man on an NBA bench. Go play him. See if he don't play no minutes. He's going to kick your butt up and down the court because he can hoop, but he's not good enough on that team. But every man in the majors can play baseball. Mentally, are you able to unlock that thing that lets them be the best version of themselves? And if you're not, then you're doing yourself a disservice, and you're harming the players that you have on your roster, and you're going to end up trading them, and they're going to go elsewhere and have success.
I think it's all that stuff. And I've mentioned this before, when you think about the one common denominator, besides they left St. Louis, they left the Cardinals organization, whether it was a short-lived Luke Voit, whether it's Dylan Carlson right now, Randy Arozarena, Lane Thomas in Washington, and the list goes on. What's the one common denominator besides, again, they get out of the Cardinals organization? It's opportunity. Lane Thomas immediately started playing for the Nationals. He had opportunities. And maybe this coincides with what you guys are talking about, too. Hey, if I strike out, I know I get a good chance of being in the lineup again tomorrow. Dylan Carlson, toward the end here, the opportunities were few and far between. Now, he's not playing every day for Tampa, but in his 5 games or so since joining the Rays, he has played the majority. He has started the majority of the game, and yesterday he came off the bench to give the pinch hit. I think the Cardinals, it's like this process of, you're going to come up, we're going to praise you, you're going to do all this stuff, then we're going to try to fix you because you're probably not ready, and then we're going to make sure that we put you in the right spots, i.e. it's going to be a lack of playing time, and then before you know it, you're a 4th or 5th outfielder, and then we're going to trade you to Tampa for a reliever. Like, that has been the Cardinals' way. And then these players get to Tampa, typically, and those Rays are like, all right, we're going to play you. We're going to put you in the lineup. And they're getting those opportunities. They get comfortable. Maybe it's a freedom thing. And before you know, it's like, oh, you actually did have something. So there is a large disconnect when it comes to development.
He's played in 14 games for the Rays.
Sorry. I looked at August.
He's got 14 games.
Not August, but the last week.
He's got 12 hits.
Does he?
Yeah, he had 24 hits in 59 games for the Cardinals.
He's getting opportunities. He's making the most of those opportunities. He didn't always do that in St. Louis. It's not just the Cardinals' fault. I mean, Dylan, for whatever reason, also didn't take advantage of those opportunities and got hurt a lot. Well, but I mean, there is something to this. This is a trend.
But also, let's go back a little bit here. Yes, there's injuries, but he was third in Rookie of the Year. And that's almost like the youngster who was just too dumb to realize what was going on, you know? So he just came in and played.
Yeah.
And it's almost like at that point now they wanted to like refine him and do like
Right.
and,
We have something here.
yeah. Oh yeah. And now they start adding things to his repertoire. And since that point, he's never been the same player, physically or mentally.
It's like Tommy Boy. Pretty new Pat.
Pretty Pat. Oh, I love that. Pretty Pat.
Killed it. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN.
It was sick.
It was sick, exactly. How did the Brewers best the Cardinals again in terms of expectations and then delivering on said expectations? That's next on 101 ESPN. Looking forward to heading back to the Missouri Athletic Club tomorrow. It's where I get my workout in. That's where I chat with, a lot of the people that I've met over the years. I love the fact that they've got everything I need there, especially when it's on my way to work. So I'll take my clothes, shower up. I'll take my laptop, get a little prep work done before I head back down 270 and get to the radio station. Missouri Athletic Club, man, they've got all kinds of great options within the club, stuff for the family, different clubs, different things that you can, from a fitness standpoint. They got self-defense classes. They've got, boxing classes. They got all kinds of stuff. Anything that you're looking to do as a family, they probably got at the MAC. 2 locations, one downtown, one is the West Clubhouse off, 270. Love both spots for different reasons. It's my MAC, Missouri Athletic Club. Brewers do it again. They didn't have the best offseason. If you looked at a lot of the moves and transactions and a lot of the articles that were built about, hey, this team had a great offseason, this one didn't. Here's your offseason grades. You didn't see the Brewers among those that were praised a lot. It's the Fast Lane on 101 to ESPN 305. Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Yet here they are, 11 games up on the Cardinals and everybody else in the division, at least 11 games up in the division. Mm-hmm. But it's interesting. Go back to their offseason.
What did they do?
They allowed Craig Counsell to move on to Chicago. They replaced him. They traded Corbin Burns to Baltimore, so they traded their ace away instead of paying another guy, a thing that Milwaukee's done in the past. They did sign Rhys Hoskins to a 2-year deal. Hoskins has been very good for them. He missed all of last year.
He's a reclamation project.
Exactly. He missed all of last year for the Phillies after getting hurt in spring training. Replaced, air quotes, Corbin Burns with Colin Ray. That's like replacing Alex Pietrangelo with name your not-so-favorite defenseman for the Blues. Like, they didn't. That wasn't a replace. It was just they had a roster spot to fill. And yet, again, despite not really making a lot of moves, they're 72-52.
And their closer was injured for the majority.
Yeah, he's back.
St. Louis kid Devin Williams.
Boy, is he back.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Like, they just keep winning. Now, Kristen Yelich is having back surgery. They're going to just keep winning.
Who do they even have? Sorry, Carey. Who do they even have over there now?
For what?
Milwaukee.
They got winners, Jamie.
Yeah, I know, but I'd like to know these guys.
The offense, the pitching.
It's a team. Just name me a star.
Willie Adames,
Okay.
William Contreras. Yelich is hurt.
Contreras is having a hell of a year.
Yeah.
Jackson Chourio, they gave him an 8-year contract extension. He hadn't done anything in the majors. This is the way they operate.
20.
And he's in the mix for Offensive Rookie of the Year.
We talked about this a couple of weeks ago, and I think when the week you were out and then when you came back, I said that we have not given the Brewers enough credit. We talk so much about, the Cardinals, they'll figure it out. This is 2 years in a row that the Cardinals have not been able to chase down the leading Milwaukee Brewers. And they are like, yeah, we'll just show up and handle our business. We got good players. We're going to handle our business, take care of our business, and win the division again. Because we're good, and you're not.
Yeah.
And that, to me, that doesn't sit well with me if you're a Cardinals fan. And it shouldn't sit well with Cardinal fans because we talked about it. The expectation is it's the Central Division. You don't got to do much because nobody else is going to do much.
Yeah.
And then other teams started doing some things. You're like, okay, well. But the Brewers are a team that just shows up, handles their business. They lost their coach. Their coach said, I don't go elsewhere. And they come back, and they're still playing at a high level. For me, it's extremely frustrating to watch a team in your division just continue to, churn win after win after win, and you're unable to figure it out for the second season in a row.
So what is the Cardinals' payroll?
They are, I think, 9th.
No, but overall, what is their payroll? 160, 170?
Let's see here. MLB payroll.
Because I'm trying to pull up the Brewers here. The site I have pulled up, Fangraphs, has the Brewers at $116 million.
Cardinals are a little over $176 million.
And do you have the Brewers?
They're 12th.
Do you have the whole list there?
I do. Milwaukee is 115.
Okay, so mine was
21st.
Accurate. So you're $60 million, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, boy. I was told there'd be no math.
Carey?
Yeah.
Roughly, give or take.
60.
That's the difference in payroll. So to the Cardinal Nation fans that think spend, that's what's going for it. That's what it means to go for it. Mm-hmm. Obviously, it doesn't, because the Brewers have won this division 2 years in a row. I'm giving it to them this year. No way they're blowing an 11-game lead.
No.
And they have been around the same payroll.
It's not about spending. It's about spending wisely. And when they do spend, even for Rhys Hoskins for 2 years, they do it wisely. When they acquired Rowdy Tellez was a good player for Milwaukee. When they wanted to move on from him, they replaced him with like Jake Bauers, who they acquired from, I think it was the Yankees that they got Jake Bauers from, but he's been pretty productive for them. You look up and down the lineup, outside of Adames, outside of when healthy Yelich, outside of William Contreras, outside of now Jackson Churio, you look up and down the lineup, it's Bryce Terang, it's Joey Ortiz, it's guys that most baseball fans, the casual baseball fans, have never heard of. But they excel in scouting, developing, and production.
So that's what's funny that you bring that up, because we get a great text from the 970 says, would you trade the Brewers and Cardinals rosters straight up right now? He goes, honestly, if I look at the two rosters, for some insane reason, I'd probably still pick the Cardinals. Does that make me crazy?
It doesn't. It doesn't.
That's where I think I'm taking crazy pills, too. Because every time I look at the dang Cardinals lineup, I'm like, it's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad.
Right.
I look at the Brewers, I'm like, that team sucks. They don't.
They don't.
Especially when you look at the pitching staff. Yeah. If you look at Milwaukee's starting pitching staff, Freddie Peralta, and then a bunch of guys that are like Tobias Myers and Colin Ray, and like guys that you would not trade for Sonny Gray or even a Kyle Gibson. The Milwaukee knows what it's doing now. It hasn't had postseason success.
Just about to ask that.
That's where the buck stops, right?
Well, what postseason success have the Cardinals had? They're not even getting to the postseason.
0.0. So Milwaukee's spending less, winning more divisions, and not having postseason success. You're spending more and not winning divisions and not having postseason success. So when you compare the two,
we get that text from a 618 says, I don't necessarily agree with the argument, but throw it back at you anyways. How many playoff games have they won?
It's
fine, but
that's
they've
fair.
gotten to the playoffs. So this year they're going to get there. Last year they got there. The Cardinals didn't. In fact, you were last place last year.
It's irrefutable. What the texter just said is irrefutable. But so is the fact that Milwaukee's better than you. Milwaukee is doing it better than you are. They're scouting better, they're developing better, and they're finding players that are closers, not actual closers.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
That can close out games. You played 3 tight games at Busch Stadium this weekend. You won one of them.
But so back to that texter's point that looking at the rosters, you probably still would take the Cardinals roster.
On paper, yes.
Because those players are supposed to be playing better than they are.
Uh-huh.
And I think I think if you're John Mozeliak and you're looking at your roster versus the Brewers, who are the top team in the Central, you're probably saying, yeah, on paper, we are better than those guys, which means that those guys have to perform at the level that they're expected to.
Sure.
Mason Wynn, I think, has 2 home runs less than Nolan Arenado. Mm-hmm. And he's been batting 3, 4, or 5 in your lineup all season. Like, that's probably why the Cardinals are where they are.
Yeah.
Like you're not getting that big time production from your best players. And when you look at the names on those lists, yeah, the Cardinals look like they have better players, but they aren't performing to the level that they need to be the number 1 team in the division.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. All right. It's Fast Line on 101 ESPN. Our NFL divisional preview continues next with the NFC East, which is a pretty interesting division from top to bottom. We'll get into it next on 101 ESPN. One thing as a homeowner you might not really look at too much is siding. You look at your home a lot. You say, man, it's looking great, or maybe it's looking rough there, and I got to mow the lawn. I got to take care of some of the landscaping. But what about your siding? Mosby Building Arts right now has a special pricing event on siding. And when it comes to siding, there's 3 ways to save on new siding. There's a free garage door that they're offering. They've got a 12 months no payments program or 10% off siding. But when it comes to, again, the look of your home, if your siding is outdated, if it's falling apart in certain areas, you know that the value, or at the very least, that curbside appeal just isn't there. Call my friends at Mosby Building Arts. Again, they've got great offers available right now on siding with those 3 ways to save. Again, one more time, 10% off, 12 months no payments, or a free garage door. So you think about upgrading your garage door to go along with some new siding, all of a sudden it looks like you got a brand new home. Mosby Building Arts, they're fantastic. They're the right remodeling company because they do it right the first time. The measurements are right the first time. The information from when it comes to how much it's going to cost you, how much you can finance is right the first time. When they start your project, they're not one of these companies that are like, yeah, we'll be back in a couple of weeks. You're just waiting on materials to come in. When they start your project, the materials are already in. You're going to love working with my friends at Mosby Building Arts. So give them a call today. Tell them that Stalter sent you. 314. Let me get that phone number for you. MosbyBuildingArts.com is where you can visit them online. But their phone number 314-686-4829. That's Mosby Building Arts, the right remodeling company.
Time to go around the NFL with a Fast Lane season preview of the NFC East.
It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. That's right. You heard them. NFL divisional preview, NFC East. Ooh. Let's start from the bottom. Oh. Are the Giants an underrated mess?
Underrated?
Yeah.
I think they're perfectly rated.
No, I'm sorry. Maybe not underrated. Are they flying under the radar as one of the bigger messes in the NFL?
Yeah, Anthony's talking about, what's going on in front of the curtain, and then you look behind the curtain, and there's chaos.
Because of the contract for Daniel Jones.
You open up the closet at home. The home is beautiful. You open up the closet, everything's piling out. That's the Giants.
3 naked guys jumped out of the closet.
Ready to tag. Never mind.
I don't know.
I think
they were kind of put in a bad position or in a tough position. They felt like they had to sign Daniel Jones.
They put themselves in that position.
But what else are you going to do?
Let him go.
Then you're destined to lose.
You're not destined to lose.
Yes, you are.
There was a very famous person that said, "Let it go." You know who that is?
Taylor Swift? No.
Elsa.
Elsa.
It was Elsa.
Yeah.
Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Daniel Jones. Let him go.
I don't.
Elsa and Jamie are not wrong.
They aren't wrong, but if you're the Giants, and I think the decision obviously it impacted their ability to re-sign Saquon Barkley. they put a lot of money into Daniel Jones, and that's the way they're going to go, and you're going to deal with it. That's what they told their fans. They're going to deal with it, and they're not a good team without him. They're not a great team with them, but they're better than they are without him.
I saw him be somewhat competitive with Tommy DeVito last year. And
like a game. Give Tommy
game and a half.
A little love. ILL. He's in the line eye.
My point is, like, come on.
They're going 12-0, Jamie. I told you earlier.
I highly recommend watching the off-season Hard Knocks, because you'll understand what goes on, in that front office with the Giants and the things that they had to maneuver around with the contract of Daniel Jones and whatnot
that they gave him.
For sure, but he had a good year in that year.
Sure,
and
he had a great year.
He had a really good year.
And did you believe it?
He had a good rushing year.
Yeah,
it was.
They also
good.
didn't have they don't have an offensive line,
which is why he was broken up.
Okay, you guys. Let me ask you this, because I feel like Jamie and I are on one side. I think you guys are on the other. You guys picking the Giants to go the wild card this year?
No, but that's not the question.
Not?
The question
they
was
stink.
Yeah,
the defense isn't that bad. Why aren't you picking the Giants to go to wild card last?
Anthony, that's
2
not
years
what
ago?
you asked. You asked if they were a mess,
an
underrated mess.
Well, now I'm asking if they're a wild card team.
No, they're not a wild card team.
Why is
that? Because they're not that good.
Who stinks?
The team stinks.
They stunk 2 years ago.
No, they didn't.
They made the playoffs a couple of years ago.
Largely the same roster.
Is it, though?
And they've actually added guys like Malik Neighbors and some other.
They are going. You know what, Anthony? You talked me into it. They are going to be a wild card team. I agree with you. Anthony said it first.
Let's bet on it.
Yes.
Let's bet on it.
I don't want to.
No, you sure?
I think they're in the process of rebuilding right now. I don't consider them a mess. I think there are other teams in the league where I'd look at them and be like, that team is a mess.
I think they're going to be top 5 in April.
That's fine, but that doesn't mean they're necessarily a mess.
It kind of means that.
It kind of means that.
But
like if Carolina winds up in the top 5, you're like, you're not talented.
They're probably going to be
the
the
Giants.
Top 5,
okay, but who's talented enough on that team?
But you just got done telling me that Daniel Jones. You had to pay Daniel Jones.
You had
what were you going to do?
What were you going to do?
Draft another quarterback.
Why would you draft another quarterback when he just won a playoff game?
Why would you overpay him based on one playoff
Because
game?
the numbers when you're up, you're going to get paid what you're supposed to get paid.
You don't
his
have to
agent
pay him,
isn't going to go for less. Yeah, the Giants kind of had to. Like they did not have a choice. Brian Daboll is probably he went from coach of the year a couple of years ago to now he's on the hot seat. There is no way in the world he was going to try to go out and start over with a rookie quarterback, because you know what they do when you bring in a rookie quarterback? Bring in a new head coach. Like, new quarterback, new head coach.
So
that's usually how that works.
Go get one of these recycled guys till you find the good rookie.
Those guys are not better than Daniel Jones.
Really?
Gardner Minshew is not going to be better than
Gardner Minshew.
You talking about recycled quarterbacks? Jacoby Brissett not going to be better than Daniel Jones. Joe Flacco, who you love,
I do. He's definitely
not going to be better than.
He led the Browns. He led the Browns to the playoffs.
The
last
Browns
year.
defense led them to the playoffs last year.
Joe had some games.
He did.
Joe fell asleep the last game. I'm pretty sure.
Houston was great.
Oh, different Joe?
Had to give him.
My bad.
Which Joe are you talking about?
Continue.
Never mind. Just keep the feet moving.
All right.
Keep going.
I don't know.
I picked up on that.
Off the.
Yeah.
Oh. Now I got you. And we will keep the feet moving. Anyways, I think the Giants are closer to being a top 5 team in the NFL draft than they are to making a wild card, even third place in that division.
Well, obviously.
They're going to be third.
Obviously. What are we talking about?
But that doesn't mean that they are
You gave Daniel Jones a massive. Who was going to pay Daniel Jones out that amount of money?
Nobody.
But you had to do it, Anthony. You're acting like you don't know that this happens in sports.
Let him sit at home then.
No, you weren't going, because if the Giants might have went 1-16 without Daniel. If Tommy DeVito started every
They'd
game,
be better off than they are now.
No, they would not.
So they would have Caleb Williams right now.
No, they
Or
wouldn't.
Jaden Daniels.
Or Jaden
They'd have one of those
Daniels.
guys.
Okay, no, yeah, no.
Yeah,
No, you guys are right. You know how to pay them.
Oh, you're good. Yeah, you're right, guys. You're better off with Daniel Jones. Our bad.
What team makes the playoffs and then goes and drafts a rookie quarterback to start the
A
next year?
smart one that realizes
How
they
about
don't
the Green
have
Bay
the guy.
Packers?
What
They
about
did
a
it
team
twice.
that? What about a team that pays a
boom.
quarterback in the offseason and drafts one in the first round? That's a smart team too.
Carey, don't you flip flop on me now.
That's a good team. It's a
Don't
smart
you
team.
flip? Don't you flip
I think it's a
flop
great
on me.
deal.
That's the NFC South.
Oh, okay. Daniel Jones is going to have a
You've been
career
with me
year
on that.
I have been.
I wanted to put money on it.
Daniel, I don't believe that, honestly. I watched him throw. I watched him throw two picks.
That changed quickly.
One from the
Yeah.
end zone for a pick six. I was like, you might want to take care of the football.
A little bit.
A little bit better.
All right, we spent enough time on the Giants.
Well, there's nothing left. The segment's over. We spent a whole segment on the Giants.
Washington, Jaden Daniels. He's been named the starter. I think that
You
they
love
could
him.
be. I do. I think he could. I think he could win NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year. I know that Caleb Williams is like the favorite and the front runner and all that, but with his rushing ability, I think, and both guys have rushing ability, but I think Jaden Daniels could have one of those like highly productive, eye-popping years for a rookie from both a rushing standpoint and then mix in the throws. I think Jaden Daniels is going to be really good.
I do like what he has. I mean, Terry McLaurin is a guy that I think does not get nearly enough credit as just a 1,000-yard receiver year after year, no matter who they have. You know, under center, he's going to get open. He's going to make big plays downfield. Jahan Dotson did a really good job last year as well. So I think they're going to be okay. Brian Robinson, if they run the football effectively, they added Austin Eckler as well, probably more of that pass game, running back out of the backfield to do some things on third down. Like, they have some capability to be a really good team, to be a good team. I won't say a really good team. They probably finish third or fourth in the division, depending on what the Giants do. But I would be okay with that from a rookie quarterback in Jaden Daniels, and I do think he's going to be really good.
I also think he could put Jaden Daniels is going to put up numbers because Washington's defense isn't that great, so he's going to have to. He's going to have to put up some numbers, too. He's going to be in a lot of high-scoring games, I would imagine. All right, Dallas Cowboys. Is the demise...
No.
Is the
I'm not
demise of the
letting you off the
Cowboys...
What? That's like saying the Cowboys shouldn't pay Dak.
For
he
3
thinks
weeks.
He thinks they shouldn't pay Dak.
For 3
he
weeks,
thinks
Carey.
they should draft Shedeur Sanders from Colorado. First
didn't
pick
say
overall.
that.
Yeah, you do. You think so.
No, I don't.
Jamie thinks so.
I wouldn't mind it. But
There you go.
For 3 weeks, I've had to listen to you pump up the Cowboys all the time. Every time we attack good old Dak, Uncle Carey steps in, and he's got to take care of his boy. You know, and it's like, what are we doing here?
Right.
I think they should pay Dak because where else are you going to go? The same thing I said about Daniel Jones. You don't. There are
You think
32
Daniel Jones
men.
is as good as Dak Prescott?
No.
Well, that's what you're saying.
That's not what I said. Based on the team as a starting quarterback, there are 32 men that start in the NFL that are good enough to be a starting quarterback right now. Maybe 36. Maybe you got a couple of guys because those guys are terrible. But
Cooper
at the end
Rush
of the
is
day,
one of those extra
right.
guys.
Pride of Central Michigan.
I don't think he is.
No, Rush is right.
No. He's a backup. But either
Michael
way,
Penix is one of those guys.
he's one of those guys. So that's why I say about 34, 36 guys. You don't let these people walk out the door because they don't grow on trees. Daniel Jones got paid for that reason.
You don't
Dak,
think Daniel Jones players grow on trees?
No.
Bro, please.
There
I'm
were
done.
so many quarterbacks that were hurt last
I'm
year,
done.
and Anthony, there were because you can turn your
I'm
back.
done.
There
I'm
were
done.
so many quarterbacks that were hurt last year, and we got to see the backups play.
Yeah.
Nothing about that excited me. The Browns had 5 quarterbacks play.
The Browns made the playoffs with Joe
DT
Flacco. The Bengals almost made the playoffs with Jake
You're
Browning.
making my blood boil.
Carey's head's going to explode.
They had 3 guys that I can't even remember their names as starters.
Dorian Robinson Thompson.
DTR. Is it
Dorian
DTR?
Thompson
DRT?
Robinson.
There you go.
Dorian Thompson.
Where is he
Robinson.
at? He started for the for the Browns last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. My point exactly. So there are quarterbacks in this league that are playing that ain't good enough to play. Daniel Jones is one of those guys that is good enough to play, and Dak damn sure is. So they got to pay him.
Well, I think Dak is
Dak is fine.
I think Dak's a franchise
And that's
guy.
how they
I
are
think,
on the
Okay
same
with Dak.
I also think
they're
they're
not
gonna-
on the same at all.
I think they're going to sign kind of
They're
the
both
death
starting
wish.
quarterbers.
That's about the only thing they have in
And they're
common.
both in the NFC East. There you go.
Real
Two
quick.
things in common. You're right. That's it.
Real quick. Eagles, closer to the Super Bowl or firing Nick Sirianni.
Firing Nick Sirianni. I think that team's going to start heading down the backside of the mountain.
Okay, so you think like with the way that they were backsliding last year, that's going to...
I think that's going to trend.
I think they're going to be better this year. I think you're looking at a team that they didn't do well down the stretch last year. They got rid of both coordinators, starting fresh, and they added Saquon Barkley, who, in my opinion, I know people devalue the running back position. I talked about it, Derrick Henry over in Baltimore, adding Saquon Barkley to that Eagles team. Run the damn football, play action pass, and you will have some big plays downfield with Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. You're going to be a better team because of Saquon Barkley, and he can catch passes out of the backfield. So you don't have to lean so heavily on Jalen Hurts. He was running the ball a little bit, got dinged up a little bit last year. So running the ball with a guy that is a really good running back and understands and knows the NFC East, he's been there for a while, I think they're going to be much better this year than they were last year.
I think they're a threat again in the NFC. I think the roster's too good. But to Jamie's point about the coaching, we're going to find out real quick if like Jalen Hurts and Sirianni aren't on the same page.
And this A.J. Brown thing, A.J. Brown's going to be so ticked off that they're handing the ball off to Saquon Barkley when he's wide open.
Yeah.
So I don't see this being a good team this year. I mean, they'll be good. They'll be fine.
Yeah. Combustible.
Yes, very much so.
The Jets, combustible.
Very close to that.
Concerning or overblown, this was actually a article last week that talked about the farm system rankings currently, like the end of the season farm system rankings for Major League Baseball, where the Cardinals are at. Is it concerning or is it completely overblown? That's next to 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals lose 2 of 3 against the Dodgers this weekend. They lose 2-1 yesterday. They have today off, but they'll take on the Milwaukee Brewers tomorrow. Eric Fetty on the mound going up against Frankie Montas. First pitch is at 6:45. The Cardinals are 11 games behind the Brewers for the National League Central title, the number 1 spot, and they are 5 games behind the Atlanta Braves for that final wild card spot. We've been talking Cardinals baseball all day long. If you missed any of those conversations, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Just head to the podcast page. You'll find all of our shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. This Sports Center update is brought to you by
Saliga
Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
So I saw this article last week that we didn't get to it. I think it was on Friday about the Cardinals and the farm system. It wasn't just about the Cardinals. It was about the midseason MLB farm rankings according to MLB Pipeline. And the Cardinals, gentlemen, any guesses where they came in? James Rivers, Carey Davis.
Out of how many?
30 teams?
30 teams.
24th.
24.
27.
27. Marshy.
Do you want me to say the answer?
No, Marcy.
So you know it.
Oh, yeah.
He knows it.
Anthony?
Jamie is closer.
Come on, Anthony. I looked at the rundown.
Were you saying Carey and I did?
That's exactly what they're saying.
Jamie's closer. Marshy, correct answer is
19.
19.
Okay.
Cardinals come in at 19. Now here's your NL Central standings from an MLB Pipeline farm system, whatever. Cubs are 8. They're the highest. They get the best farm system rating according to MLB Pipeline. Cincinnati Reds are 14th. Your Cardinals are 19th. As you said, Milwaukee is 17th. Pittsburgh is 20th. So they're all kind of, at least those 3 teams are all kind of in the same range. In one aspect, you can say it's concerning because they're 19th, so it's well below average. On the other side of things, you could talk about the fact that Mason Wynn, homegrown player, is up. Right now, so is Jordan Walker. So are Brendan Donovan, Nolan Gorman. Who am I missing? There's other guys that have come up and are not. Lars Nootbaar is a farm system player, right? Do you guys think that the fact that the Cardinals are 19th is concerning, or is it a bit overblown based again on who's already up?
I think so. Here's the thing with minor league rosters, it's very cyclical, okay? And what I mean by that is you go through draft periods. You're not restocking the cupboard every year. Like people say every year you're adding to it. You're not. Because you have a window usually of a group of players like the Cardinals have now with the Gorman, Walker, Wynn, like that whole group that kind of came up in and around the same time. When you have that many players make your major league roster, that empties the cupboards down in the minors.
Yes.
So for the next couple of years, you're trying to rebuild the cupboard so that the next wave of players hit your major league roster when some of your guys hit the unrestricted free agency or whatever it is, right? Mm-hmm. So right now, it's not as concerning for me in the moment because the Cardinals do have so many young-ish players on their major league roster. And looking at the next wave, too, like the Sajay's sitting there, JJ, Weatherholt, he's killing it right now. Like that's the next wave that's going to hit at some point in the next couple of years. It's not great overall, but I do think that in the next couple of years, it'll probably be higher based on the fact that the cycle's almost ending and that group of players will be graduating to the majors.
I think that's a fair point. What do you think, Carey?
For me, it's not as concerning either. I think if this team were closer to being like a playoff team, being really relevant for a championship, I think you would want to have like higher ranking, being ranked higher in those prospects, because then if need be, you can deal from a place of depth to go get that final piece, whether that's an ace or a right-handed bat that you covet, a guy that you know can start every single day versus lefties and righties. That's amazing. And play. That would be, where they find those guys.
What about your platoons?
Anthony, I mean, if you got a guy that can do both.
Yeah.
You'd rather have that guy
like Dylan Carlson.
No, I'm thinking more like Aaron Judge.
I like guys that only play half the time, that can only do one thing, not even that well.
I don't think that that's the best way to win games.
Well, the Cardinals been doing it for years. They've had a lot of success.
Not this year or last year.
No.
But, yeah, if you are closer to being, a playoff team, a world championship team, having higher or better, being listed higher on that prospect list will add value to whatever decision you make, whether that's bringing those players up because they can fill a role. Jackson Holiday is an example. Like, you got your really good team and you got top prospects and you can just plug and play a guy.
Yeah.
Or if need be, you can trade from that depth and bring a guy up that is established and say, hey, this is what we need from you in this moment. So I don't think it's that concerning right now because of where the Cardinals organization is on the field, that their minor league system is not as high as some of these other organizations.
Yeah. I agree with both of you, and Carey, I'll add to your point. The Dodgers are fifth. They've got the fifth highest MLB pipeline, despite either promoting guys or using them to acquire. The list goes on. Mookie Betts, Max Scherzer, Trey Turner for a year. Manny Machado, they acquired those guys using the farm system depth that they have. Atlanta was a team that also kind of, like San Diego 28th, Atlanta 27th. That makes sense. To Jamie's point, if you use those guys to either come up, you promote them, and they're all studs, or you use them to acquire for San Diego, Manny Machado, Luis Ariz, Juan Soto. Like, you're either using that farm system to build a foundation at the major league level, or are you using that farm system to acquire the pieces you need at the major league system? Either way, you want to be in that top 10. And I think the Cardinals, for a while now, have been in that 10 to 20 range. I love the job that Randy Flores has done.
Is this just the prospects overall, or do they have a separate category for pitching prospects?
All of them.
I wish they had a separate category for pitching, just because I do think the Cardinals have been doing really well with their pitching selections. You look at Connor Jerpy, he's looking good. The Hughes kid's looking good. Tink Hentz is looking good. McGreevy, obviously, is high expectations there. Grisefo's looking pretty good.
Yeah.
So I feel like the next wave of pitchers is still, a year. In the next year to 3 years, you're going to have a complete rotation, I believe, of players that you drafted and developed.
Hopefully.
That'd be nice.
That would be nice. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter. Speaking of Carey and Jamie, we've been doing this every Monday. Advice with former athletes. If you have some questions that you're looking for advice on when it comes to our former athletes.
Could be anything, too.
Could be anything. Send it in.
Vast knowledge.
There's no doubt about that. 314-399-9646, the Air Comfort Service text line. That's next. Advice with former athletes here on 101 ESPN.
Complete customer satisfaction has always been the number one priority over at Johnny Londoff Chevrolet. Listen, price brings people in, but great service keeps them coming back. At Johnny Londoff Chevrolet, they want you to be a customer for life. They want to treat you like family. They want you to be part of the Londoff family. They do things the right way over there. Johnny Londoff Chevrolet is cruising through the summer, by the way, with huge savings on every vehicle on the lot. Here are a couple of the examples. Little 2024 Chevy Equinox RS. Suggested retail price, $38,965. Londoff price, $33,965. That's a savings of $5,000. And maybe you're looking for a pickup truck. How about a 2024 Chevy Silverado 1500 Custom Trail Boss? By the way, the same truck that I drive. Suggested retail price, $67,000. The Londoff price, $54,030. That's over $13,000 in savings. And Johnny needs your trade-in and will pay top dollar for your vehicle, and he guarantees that. So please visit either location, the brand new Londoff Autoplex out in St. Peters, or the original out in Florissant, Missouri. Stop in, tell them Jamie Rivers sent you in. Give them a call at 314-837-1800. That's 314-837-1800, or you can always visit them at londoff.com. Are you kidding me?
Johnny Londoff Chevrolet.
Give me some advice, quick.
So we have two former athletes here in the studio with us each and every day here in the Fast Lane. Carey Davis, Super Bowl champion. Jamie Rivers, former Blues defenseman here.
And Islanders.
And Islanders and Canadians and Red Wings.
Okay, guys, we go through this every time. Just, if you're interested,
well, we have to go over your credentials.
Just Google it. There you go.
All right, fair enough.
I got about 5 teams, too.
Yeah, I know. You always say you try to deflect towards me.
No, I know.
Colts, Falcons, Steelers, Bucks.
Yeah.
Is that it?
You can count the Washington Redskins if you like.
All right.
Or the Miami Dolphins. I'm not going to count them, though.
So I think it's all relative, though. How many years?
6.
6 years.
Yeah.
How many teams?
5. If I don't count the Dolphins, which I don't count.
It's all about the same.
Fair enough. All right, Marsh, you kick off our advice with former athletes.
All right, guys, what would you say to the Edmonton Oilers players who are watching their new general manager, Stan Bowman, make moves that will impact their future as a team for the years to come?
Nothing. Do your job, Stan. I'll go do mine. You do yours. Stan Bowman has been the general manager of a number of different Stanley Cup teams. Let's not forget that he was with the Chicago Blackhawks during their dynasty, we'll call it. Now, obviously, his tenure there came to an aggressive stop over some things that he probably should have handled better, but that was not due to, that was not player acquisitions and things like that. So Stan Bowman has been tossed under a bus by Doug Armstrong, and Army's actually driving the bus, and he's trying to back it over him and go back over him again. Beep, beep. And Stan Bowman has to try and navigate his way through this, and at the same time, look to next year and 2 years from now. You can't just get your ego bruised and say, well, I'm just going to get rid of stuff and match this right away. And screw you, Army. Sometimes you got to look at it and go, okay, maybe the best move right now is doing other things and not worrying about that. And then having enough cap space may become trade deadline time to go acquire a top 4 left-handed shot defenseman for a very short period of time that's going to be an unrestricted free agent who would then replace those minutes that Broberg was giving you. Because the Oilers, let's not kid ourselves, they're going to be a playoff team. They're just that good. Now they can get there without Broberg. So then at the deadline, if they have the cap space, which they probably will, then you can go get somebody. So sometimes the long play is good too. And just for an update, I don't know if it means anything or not. I went on NHL.com just to check out the Oilers roster to look at other players that they have. And the 2 players that were offer sheeted are no longer on the roster for the Oilers. So read into it what you want. It could be that the league is mandating that they take them off while they're currently under contract with the Blues.
Makes sense.
Or they were there this morning and they were over the weekend.
Well,
or the Oilers are saying, we're done.
We're done here. Nothing to see.
We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm a player on the Oilers, I'm not telling the GM anything. It's not my business. I don't want to. I'm sure he doesn't want to hear from me as much as I don't want to hear him tell me how to block an ISO. I don't need you to tell me, sir. Tell me how to block this defensive end on power. No, I don't want you to. I don't want your instructions. So
right.
I won't give him mine. You do your job, I'll do mine. I'll shorten my neck because that's what my job is, and you figure out how to make our team better. But do it.
So, advice with former athletes, Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers. We played earlier today the Tua Tagovailoa comments about Brian Flores. Brian Flores, I thought was well respected in the league. Maybe this is just a one-off, and Tua just didn't appreciate the way that Brian Flores conducted business. But if you guys had advice for Brian Flores, if in fact what Tua said was correct, what's your advice for Brian Flores?
Well, there's a time and a place for everything, okay? And there's certain players that you can and cannot do certain things to or talk to them a certain way. And my advice for Brian Flores would be it's okay to kick him in the butt, but you also got to pat him on the back.
Yeah.
The player can't show up every day at the field or at the rink or wherever it is and feel like I'm already starting in a hole. Because the first thing I do when the coach walks in is he basically tells me, you're a piece of garbage, or that was terrible. I'm going back over a practice video, and man, were you bad yesterday.
Yeah.
Really? That's the way you want to start your day? Anybody in the workforce out there right now, whatever you do, let's say you work at a bank. You walk in, your manager tells you before you even start your shift that
you suck.
You're bad at your job. I wish I could replace you, but I can't. My higher ups hired you, so I've got to deal with it now.
Right.
So my advice to Brian Flores is a good strategy is every time you discipline a player or you show them something negative, show them 3 things positive. Talk about other things that are positive. You want the scale to be tilted towards the positive. That way, when you do bring up the negative, it's way more impactful. It has more juice to it, and the player responds to it then because the player's like, you know what? Coach has had my back. He talks nice to me. He helps me out. We do great video. So if I'm doing that and he's mad at me, that's my bad. I got to get better. And that's how you win a team.
I was always taught, they give what we call crap sandwiches. Give you the positive thing you did, put the negative thing you did and then finish it up with a positive comment.
We have those in the fast lane.
There you go. And
sometimes we don't finish it off, though.
No, and we call that an open face
there
crab
you go.
sandwich.
Right. Yeah. And so if you're Brian Flores, that's probably the way to go. I do find it interesting, though, that we have never heard this from Tua Tagovailoa. He did something a couple of weeks ago that made him maybe feel a little bit more comfortable, though. It's not a huge contract. Money in the bank. Ain't gonna take that. Let me tell you how and he's not here, but it doesn't matter. Like when you get paid, there's a little more. You know what? I can breathe a little bit.
Yeah.
Got money for the rest of my life.
I can say whatever the hell I want.
With you, Brian Flores. I've been wanting to tell you for it. Wow, how I feel.
And it doesn't matter if you end up being my coach again, because I am guaranteed all of this money.
Yeah, buddy. So, yeah, I thought that was very interesting. But, nah, Brian Flores, if that's what he was doing and how he was going about it, maybe that's why they went and removed him, like why they went on and moved on from him, because if I'm not mistaken, he did have a winning record that final year in Miami. It was the Tom Brady.
He wasn't going to mess with the Tom Brady thing.
It was surprising that he got let go.
Well, remember, he wound up suing the league.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Well, that was because they had...
Where'd that go?
I'm sure there was a settlement of some sort.
Like I said, just disappeared.
Yeah. That's how they do things. Just kind of, we're not like the mob, but,
pretty close.
Like the mob.
Yeah.
Pretty close. It's above board mob.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's supposed to be. He was 9-8 his last year. He had a winning record. Went 10-6 the year before. So it was a surprise that he got fired. But again, maybe that's because of that relationship with your future, your star quarterback, your starting quarterback, soon to be star quarterback.
We get a good text from 314. It says, it's not like Tua is soft either. You don't play for Nick Saban if you're soft.
Yeah, very true.
So it's not like a player just can't take it. Yep. It's just that it was too much, whatever it was.
It's a great point.
All right, let's head to the Air Comfort Service text line. I'm going to text from the 573. I'm a new coach. How would you recommend I handle players that don't like to be coached?
How do you handle players that don't like to be coached?
Mm-hmm.
Get rid of them.
Where is he coaching, Jamie? He might be coaching the rec league at the YMCA. You can't really
sure
get rid of. Nah, Jamie.
Hey, kid, we practice tomorrow at 8. Everybody's like, no. Guys, I know we practice at 6.
Yeah, shut your mouth.
No, players that don't want to be coached, honestly, I've had that in my lifetime, and it's just because the player doesn't trust you. That's the bottom line. The player doesn't trust you. So you got to gain that trust. Sit down with him. Talk to him. Hey, what do you not like about what I'm saying here? What are you seeing? What do you want to do? How do you feel about this? And then what I do is I build a portfolio, I call it, of the player. These are all the things the player wants and how he expects things to be and what he's looking to achieve and all that. And then I hold that player accountable to his own words. So then when they come at me later on, I bring out the piece of paper and I go, but wait, you told me you want to be the best defenseman, right? You told me you want to be pushed. You want to be on the power play, but you're not acting like that. So, but these are your words, they're not mine. I didn't make this up. You did. So you have to trust me now to make you the best player, and we'll use this blueprint that you gave me, but you're going to still listen to me as a coach.
I think if the player is not interested in being coached, that's probably a player that should be watching games. Like, you're not going, if you're not, and there's a fine line.
What if he's a really good player?
Carey,
that's the poison.
So here's the thing.
The best kid on the field.
He makes my blood crawl.
And he won't listen to you.
I had a player like that. I had a player that and I had to explain it to him in this way because he was so lazy in practice. I mean, but game time, he was the most talented player we had on the field. He was our quarterback. But practice, he'd just kind of go through the motions, and come game time, he would get so mad at his teammates because when the lights turn on, he can switch it. And so I had to explain to him, I said, hey, man, you're yelling at them for something they are unable to do. You got a gift that come Friday night, Saturday afternoon, you can turn it on. They can't. So you're going to have to turn it on in practice so they understand the tempo, the level, the speed, the pace that they have to go at, because Friday night they need to understand that this is what it is. They can't turn it on. So giving him an understanding, because I was pissed, I was upset every day I'm doing this with you, but I had to understand you don't get it because God gifted you something that they don't have, and so let me explain it to you. So I think sometimes trying to get players to understand, where they are, who they are, and what they are in comparison to some of their teammates. You got to talk to them and explain that to them. But if a player is unwilling to commit or sacrifice what is required, then that player probably isn't going to help the team win, even if he is the best player on the team.
All right, we got the Gauntlet coming up next here on 101 ESPN.
With over 2 decades of family ownership and operation, my friends over at E&B Granite is St. Louis's trusted name for renovations, whether it's your kitchen or a bathroom. And now we know how awesome those outdoor living spaces are. E&B Granite has you covered as well. E&B Granite offers an extensive selection of custom countertops, cabinets, and flooring that cater to diverse tastes. The variety of colors, patterns, and styles, well, they're guaranteed to bring new life into your living space. Backed by a skilled team of professional fabricators, installers, and the in-house design staff. That's the key right there. The in-house design staff is awesome. I had my kitchen done with E&B Granite, and I walked in, didn't know what I really wanted to accomplish. I just knew I wanted it to be modern, but I wanted it to also be, something not too shocking, something to good value to it. Well, they walked me through the whole process, showed me all the items, and then when it was done, it was fantastic. Beautiful countertops, backsplash cabinets. When I walked in, I thought it was like out of a magazine. It was so beautiful, and that's thanks to the in-house design staff over at E&B Granite, and they can do the same thing for you as well, whether it's your kitchen, bathroom, or outdoor space. So call over there, book an appointment. Tell them Jamie Rivers sent you in. That number's 314-645-9300. Again, that's 314-645-9300, and you can always visit them at enbgranite.com.
Warriors. 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you survive the Gauntlet?
Time for the Gauntlet here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN 405. Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. We have a new Gauntlet contestant. It's John. What's up, John?
What's going on, guys?
Not much. Thanks for joining us. First time?
No, I've been on it a couple times. Made it all the way to the fourth round before, and Jamie got me.
Jamie.
Sorry, John.
Is this a revenge spot, John?
No, I don't think so.
All right, so you want Carey, Marsh, or me then?
I'll go with CD.
All right.
Carey Davis. He's going to make his way into the cone of silence. Nothing from John. John's like,
That's a
go blank
stone-cold
yourself.
killer.
Go blank yourself, San Diego. All right, John, go ahead and tell Marsh to spin that wheel.
Spin that wheel, Marshy.
John, what category are we hoping for today?
Anything but hockey.
Anything but hockey. Anything but hockey. What do we got?
Well, John, you lucked out because it fell just short of hockey. You got baseball.
That'll work.
All right.
All right. Here's how the rules work. John is going to get 4 baseball questions. Carey's going to get the same 4 baseball questions. John goes first, Carey goes second. Each question, thank you, Marsh, is worth 2 points unless John or Carey ask for the options. If they ask for the options, those questions are worth 1 point. We do have a tiebreaker. There will be a victor crowned today here in the Gauntlet. John, are you ready?
Ready to go.
On Tuesday night, and I don't know what Tuesday night this was. I think this was a week ago. Juan Soto's first career 3-run homer powered the Yankees past...
No. Start over.
What?
Orange reading.
On Tuesday night, Juan Soto's first career three-homer game. Thank you. Sorry, I missed game.
You're good.
On Tuesday night, Juan Soto's first career 3-homer game powered the Yankees past the Woeful White Sox 4-1. Can you tell us the year in which Soto made his major league debut at age 19?
Oh, was he a rookie when they won a World Series? Gosh. I think he might have been there a year already. Let's go 2018. Final answer.
All right.
All right, John. Question 2. With a strong finish, Shohei Ohtani could register MLB's first 50-50 season. Who was the last Dodger to swipe 50 or more bags?
Give me the options on that one.
All right. Was it D. Strange Gordon, Matt Kemp, or Dave Roberts?
Oh, it had to be D. Gordon. Final answer.
Okay.
Question number 3. In 2023, Eric Fetty won the MVP of the Korea Baseball Organization. Name the team for which the right-hander recorded 20 victories.
Options.
Options are Samsung Lions, Nippon Ham Fighters, or NC Dinos.
Give me the last one.
NC Dinos. Final answer?
Yeah.
Question number 4, John. What is the only National League club that has lost 40-plus road games so far this season? What is the only National League club that has lost 40-plus road games so far this season?
Probably the Marlins or the Rockies. Let's go with the Rockies. Final answer.
All right.
Let's bring back Carey.
Let's
John,
get
how
our
you
guy
feeling?
CD in here.
John, how you feeling?
Not the best.
Okay. All right, we'll see here. Carey's making his way back from the cone of silence.
Hey, how's it going?
Carey, how you feeling? How's the cone of silence?
Yes, very silent.
Very silent. Yeah,
Very
no Mike
silent.
Ryder today.
Yeah, he's not here. He's
Another day off.
working hard.
I don't think he has. I don't think Mike taking one day off.
At
I really
all.
don't.
I don't think this place would be standing if he
I like to mess with him.
took 3 days off in a row.
Carey, I noticed that you're without food, so you better pack a lunch here.
I'm going to order something here. Got to.
Carey, the wheel spun baseball.
All right.
Baseball is your category today. Are you ready?
Sure.
Question number 1. Last Tuesday night, Juan Soto's first career 3-homer game powered the Yankees past the Woeful White Sox 4-1. Can you tell us the year in which Soto made his major league debut at age 19?
Well, he's, 24? I didn't know math was going to be part of this. 19? 19 and 19? It was 22. Okay, 2009. You want the year that
Yes, sir.
correct? 2019. Final answer. Damn.
Question 2. With a strong finish, Shohei Ohtani could register MLB's first 50-50 season. Who was the last Dodger to swipe 50 or more bags?
Give me the options.
Was it D. Gordon, Matt Kemp, or Dave Roberts?
Did Matt Kemp have 50? He didn't have 50. He's a big burly guy. He's had some speed. D. Gordon sounds like a good option. Dave Roberts would have been a while ago. Give me D. Gordon. Final answer.
Question number 3. In 2023, Eric Fetty won the MVP of the Korea Baseball Organization. Name the team for which the right-hander recorded 20 victories.
Options.
Options are Samsung Lions, Nippon Ham Fighters, or NC Dinos.
Can you repeat the options again, sir?
Of course. Samsung Lions, Nippon Ham Fighters, NC Dinos.
NC Dinos. Final answer.
All right, Carey, last question for you. What is the only National League club that has lost 40-plus road games so far this season?
National League?
What is the only National League club that has lost 40-plus road games so far this season?
I mean, it's probably the Marlins or the Rockies. Be my guess. I had a 50-50 chance. Give me the Marlins. Final answer.
All right. Let's go over this.
All right.
Last Tuesday night, Juan Soto's first career 3-homer game powered the Yankees past the woeful White Sox 4-1. Can you tell us the year in which Soto made his major league debut at 19? Neither of you used the options. CD, you said 2019. John, you said 2018. Correct answer is...
It was May 20th, Dodgers versus the Nationals. The year was 2018.
John up 2-0 on Carey. With a strong finish, Shohei Ohtani could register MLB's first 50-50 season. Who was the last Dodger to swipe 50 or more bags? You both took the options. You both went with D. Strange Gordon. Correct answer is...
It is D. Strange Gordon.
64 in 2014. John still with a 2-point lead over Carey. In 2023, Eric Fetty won the MVP of the Korea Baseball Organization. Name the team for which the right-hander recorded 20 victories. John and Carey both took the options. You both said it, the NC Dinos. Correct answer is...
It is, in fact, our NC Dinos.
NC Dinos. So, last question. John up by 2. What is the only National League club that has lost 40-plus road games so far this season? Neither of you took the options. Carey, you were between the Marlins and the Rockies. You settled on the Marlins. John, you said it's either going to be the Rockies or the Marlins. You settled on the Rockies. If it's the Rockies, John wins in a blowout. 6-2. If it's the Marlins, Carey forces a walk-off. Because one of you is correct. John.
You have chosen wisely.
The Colorado Rockies are 17-45 away from Coors Field this year. Carey, if it helps, it wouldn't have mattered. That first question, unfortunately, got you. You had every answer the same
Yeah.
throughout, except for that last one. John, congratulations. You advanced to round 2 of the Gauntlet tomorrow. Nice job.
Good job, John.
Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks for playing. Nice job. All right, so John will take on either Carey, Jamie,
just beat the hell out of
Marsh,
me.
or me.
According to you.
It was a bloodbath. Yeah,
Blowout
6-2. Yeah, 6-2.
Quite a bloodbath.
Yep.
Might need therapy.
Not just for that, though.
Carey, hey, Carey, you know what? You're like the Cardinals. You tried.
You know what?
Oh, wow. Those are fighting words.
That's bad.
Go to break,
I worked
Marshy. Keep the cameras going, though.
Hey, no, we have your shot right now to score a pair of tickets to the St. Louis Blues home opener against the Minnesota Wild on October 15th at Enterprise Center. Blues hockey is right around the corner, and single game tickets for the 24-25 season go on sale this Thursday at 10 a.m. Don't miss exciting new theme nights and can't miss giveaways this season. Get all the details at stlouisblues.com. And right now, you can text in to the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646 to win free tickets to the Blues home opener. Here's your trivia question. Carey and Marsh said you had to pay a bad quarterback today. Said you had to pay this guy. The quarterback's bad. They still would have given them their entire life savings. Who's the quarterback that Marsh and Carey said, and I quote, you had to pay him, or this team had to pay him?
Superstar.
Name the quarterback. 314-399-9646. You can also register to win tickets to the home opener for the Blues at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 mobile app. Can the Cardinals truly bring back Mo and Marmol if they have another losing season? We'll have that discussion next on 101 ESPN.
Are you currently looking to replace your windows, whether they are just old and they don't look good, or maybe they're just inefficient, or maybe there's cracks in them because of storms? Visit my friends over at Window World. They are simply the best for less. They're also the preferred window of your St. Louis Blues. Let's not forget, Window World windows are one of the 2 windows with the Good Housekeeping seal of approval. They use a window that has, it's a double-strength glass that gives it a strength that you just don't find in ordinary replacement windows. And what that means is obviously a lot stronger, more durable, but the efficiency is way better, and that keeps money in your wallet so you're not wasting it on bad windows. And let's not forget that they not only offer, they give you a lifetime warranty that covers all the parts, glass breakage, and labor, and they have up to 36 months same as cash financing with approved credit. So please pick up the phone and tell them it's Jamie from 101 ESPN sent you in there. When you do that, you automatically qualify for a drawing of Blues tickets for a game this season. So again, call over there, say Jamie Rivers from 101 sent me in. That number is 314-993-1800. That's 314-993-1800, or you can always visit windowworldstlouis.com.
can the Cardinals truly bring back Mo and Marmol if the team has another losing season? It's a Fastlane on 101 ESPN. I think a lot of fans would say, absolutely not. Go Fastlane yourself, everybody.
Yeah.
The unfortunate part for you, if you do feel that way, and I don't blame you for feeling that way, but if you do, the fact that Mo's got a contract and so does Marmol. In fact, Marmol signed his before the start of the season. So, can they bring both back? Yeah, they absolutely can. Will anything change with this organization if they don't? No. Same ownership,
Guys,
same front office.
nothing's changing anyways.
Same manager.
Nothing's changing.
Oh, yell at me.
You know what, Anthony? You're right, but I wasn't yelling at you. I was just yelling.
You were yelling with me.
Yeah. So it's not always about you, okay? Now I understand why certain people say certain things.
Who has been saying stuff?
Just people.
Okay.
Close to you. Anyways.
These are my kids. They were here last week.
Killian filled me in on everything.
Listen, this guy here.
Uncle Jamie, I got to tell you, my dad's a real piece of crap.
He didn't use those words.
Yeah.
He alluded to it.
Yeah.
Anyways.
You filled in the blanks.
Yeah. I can read between the lines.
I hear you. Yep.
And I shouldn't be so aggressive. I don't think the Cardinals are going to change much. They're just not.
Yep.
The DeWitts and the front office believe they have a formula that works. May not be wins and losses.
God bless them.
What?
No, wait. Carey?
Wait.
They believe they have a formula that works. You know why? You know why?
Because it makes them money?
Yes. And
there it is.
And there it is. It makes them money. Therefore, the formula works.
So they are winning.
They're winning.
They are.
With your money, Carey. Yours specifically.
I don't like
With
that.
your home
The
realty.
2 games a year that you go to,
Directly into their pockets.
they thank you.
You got to be kidding me.
I'm not. I just don't think there's going to be an overhaul. Guys, think about this for a second. You went from Walt Jocketty to John Mozeliak. That was a big difference. Just old school and a little rough around the edges, aggressive. Him and Tony La Russa butted heads, but they went and got players. They're always moving and shaking. I think they didn't like that. I think they're like, I don't know about that. I'd like a little more
Stability.
a little more cost certainty.
Yeah.
Over, so we can continue to grow this mountain of money that we live on.
Mm-hmm.
And I think John Mozeliak is the perfect guy, which is why I think Chaim Bloom is the next perfect guy. Not for us.
What?
For the organization.
Anthony didn't like that either.
Well,
No, I understood exactly what he meant, though.
So
I don't think there's, guys, I don't think there's like a massive overhaul. All of a sudden things are going to be so different.
Mm-hmm.
I actually agree with you, Jamie, and we talked about this. I think, if this team doesn't make the playoffs again, as they did last year, I think there will be some changes, but I don't think it will be those big changes. It won't be the Po Bowl. It won't be the manager, but it may be someone else on the staff, someone else, a pitching coach, a bench coach, a hitting coach, someone else that is in a secondary role that assists this team, because you got to have something. Like, the fans want blood, right? You got to give them something. And it's not necessarily fair to that coach, but that's how sports go. And we normally see that. You see a head coach who's on the hot seat in football. What does he do? He fires his OC or his DC. Like, almost better you than me.
Found the problem.
The issue.
There's this guy. Don't worry, fan base. I found him.
Nick Sirianni. Yeah. Look at this. So it happens, and I think that's what you'll see this offseason if they're unable to make the playoffs, unless they go on a 17-game winning streak. It happens. It's possible.
It has happened before.
Probably not probable, but it's possible.
Yeah.
But I think that if that doesn't happen, they're going to have to go in a different direction on a minor level, not a major level.
So I'm going to add to what Jamie said. Let's take a step back here, okay? This is the St. Louis Cardinals. This is the most risk-averse organization in all of sports, if not, or in all of baseball, if not all of sports. And I'm using hyperbole because I think they are, but I haven't done the legwork on every single team. When it comes to this organization being risk-averse, if you do fire Ollie, how can you not replace Mo? He's gone through, so Tony leaves on his own accord. That wasn't Mo. Tony retires, and he made that decision before they even made the playoffs in 2011. Went on to win the World Series, Tony leaves. So that's not on Mo. But Matheny was Mo's first hire. Then he fires Matheny. He goes to Mike Schilt. Philosophical differences, you fire Schilt, you replace Ollie. How many Pobos get 4 managerial hires in one cycle?
Yeah.
I understand that Mo has been around a long time. I'm sure his brain would be welcomed at another organization, maybe not as the president or maybe as a consultant or whatever. It's not like he's going to leave Major League Baseball if he gets fired. But how can you replace another manager and allow the same guy this time around? I'm not talking about Mo's entire career. We can have that discussion when he moves on. But right now, how can you allow Mo to make another managerial hire? So I think if one's going, i.e. Ollie, then both of them are going. And I just don't see a risk-averse organization, the top of it, the ownership, making 2 significant moves like that. If they do, and they replace both guys with Chaim Bloom and somebody else within the organization that's like an Ollie guy, or Ollie cut out of the same cloth, are you really changing anything? I'm all for changing. You want to change it? Great. Let's do this. But
what needs to change, though? Like, is it
ownership's mindset?
Okay, because you think that they need to spend more money. They need to spend
they need
better money. They need to to move on from players before they're older and unable to play at the level. Like, what needs to change?
Let me state. I'm going to answer your question directly.
Okay,
but let me state this first. Jamie's right. They're a business first. Mm-hmm. They're allowed to make money. If they have a money-making machine, which they do, they can keep that going as long as they want. Okay, far be it for me to tell anybody, especially billionaires, how to spend their money.
Right.
But if I were in charge in this hypothetical world, I would hire a manager with credentials, with experience. The first call I'd make, and I don't know, he's older now. I don't know if he'd want to be here, but the first call I'd make would be to John Madden. Not John Madden.
No,
Joe Madden.
You might be on hold for a while.
Joe Madden. As soon as the words were coming out of my mouth, I'm like, that's not right. Joe Madden.
Whoever gave you that number.
Love him.
If he picks up, though, I mean.
You still might.
I still would take
Joe Madden. He's a hell of a coach. Joe Madden. I would call Joe Madden. If he's not interested, I would pick his
he's
brain.
Interested. He keeps dropping hints left and right. He wants back in the league.
I would pick his brain on who then he would hire because he's been around baseball for a long time. I would hire a manager with.
I think he's done.
I think he's done too.
Yeah, but what about Dusty Baker as like an advisor?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
yeah.
Like you get a guy like Dusty, say, "Hey man, this guy over here has got a brilliant baseball mind. He just hasn't been given a chance, or whatever."
And it's not just because I want an experienced manager because the previous 3 did not have experience. The main thing I'd want to do is hire somebody with fresh eyes. Somebody else from outside the organization to come in. Mm-hmm. That's not a carbon copy of Mo. Because that's what Bloom is. He's a carbon copy of Mo.
With Chaim Bloom in his first hire somebody who's going to challenge him immediately.
Yes.
No, would he?
No. Oh, no, he wouldn't. I thought you said hire somebody to challenge him. No.
The perfect relationship doesn't exist. On winning teams, the perfect relationship between the president or the GM and the head coach, it doesn't exist.
There's always friction.
There's always friction, and that's why they win. Mm-hmm. Because at some point, one of them has to tuck their tail and walk away. And sometimes it's the GM, sometimes it's the head coach, sometimes the GM needs the head coach and other people in the staff to tell him, you're being a fool, we need this, we need this, we need this. Then the GM says, okay, fine, we'll do it your way. Then it's successful, and look at that, it worked.
Yeah.
That's the friction is always there, but the friction is there because both parties want to win.
Right.
It's not just yes.
And they're adamant that their way is the right way to win.
Yeah.
And I think that when you have 2 people that are like-minded in that way, willing to fight for what they believe, that's when you, again, have the best team because both guys are saying, no, this is it. Trust me. You hired me to do a job, and I'm telling you that's
Let me do it.
And so it kind of goes back and forth. And generally, you do have, and you don't have to like each other. Like, you don't have to like each other to have success.
I don't need to have dinner with you.
But we're going to find the best way to win games.
Absolutely. That's all that matters in the long run anyways. All right, Sports Six-Pack is next. 314-399-9646, the Air Comfort Service text line. If you got a question for us, send it there. Sports Six-Pack next in the Fast Line. If you're in search of a new vehicle, I've been telling you for a while now, shop at Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum. I've been telling you that because that's what we do, and that's what the experience has been, and we love the experience from Auto Centers. If you purchase a vehicle this month, throughout the month of August, you're going to save some of the biggest savings. You're going to take advantage of some of the biggest savings that Auto Centers Nissan has had all year long. In 2024, they were calling it their summer heat wave sale with over 700 vehicles all in one location. You can take advantage of select new Nissans with rates as low as 0% APR and for terms as long as 84 months all month long. You can save big on select new Nissans. They've got thousands in Nissan bonus cash and dealer discounts. Again, it's their lowest offers in 2024. Qualified buyers can take advantage of no money down, plus take a break from their car payment for 3 months on top of it. As always, all offers include 30-day new car return promise, complimentary lifetime warranty on new Nissans and used vehicles, complimentary 1-year maintenance on new Nissan purchases. Drop my name when you head out there to Herculaneum. Check them out online, autocentersnissan.com. It's Auto Centers Nissan.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals had the day off after losing 2 of 3 to the Dodgers over the weekend. They'll take on the Milwaukee Brewers tomorrow with Eric Fetty on the mound going up against Frankie Montas. First pitch is at 6:45. We have our Sports Six-Pack coming up next, so if you have a question you want to send our way, do so using the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. Sports Six-Pack coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. Andrew Marsh has got your Sports Six-Pack questions.
Question number one.
Jamie, you brought this up earlier in the show. We have a lot of texters texting in asking about Philip Broberg and Dylan Holloway and why they have been removed from the Oilers' online roster. Should we read into this as the Oilers not matching the offer sheets?
I mean, we are going to read into it because that's just what we do as sports fans. I don't know. I've been trying to peruse the interwebs here to see if there's some kind of rule in the NHL to where the team has to take them off the roster when they're technically under contract with another team because they signed their offer sheet from the Blues. So I don't know if that makes them officially Blues or if that just means they're in no man's land right now. And now the Oilers and the NHL are finally catching up on some of their work and took them off the roster until further notice. But I don't know. They're on the roster before, and now they're not. So, tinfoil hat here thinks that maybe
it's
that
done.
Maybe that the Oilers are going to move on, and they're not going to match. Yeah,
not going to work.
I don't even think it's a white flag. I think for the Oilers, honestly, it's the smart business move to do not match.
Yeah.
You're putting yourself in cap hell for nothing. And I don't mean like right away, well, they have enough room, they can do it with LTIR until January. And then when Evander Kane comes back, now you're going to be $3 or $4 million over the cap. You still have Leon Draisaitl that you want to sign to a long-term extension. You're going to want to make a move at the deadline somehow, some way to improve your roster. Army overpaid, and Army knows that it's not good business financially. Like, he's overpaying for the product, but he knows he wants the product, and this was the creative way to do it. So therefore, people here in St. Louis, we're not mad at Army for doing this.
Right.
Now, if it blows up where Broberg is terrible and he can't even play and he's a healthy scratch and you paid $4.5 million for him, that's going to be problematic. But that's where your scouting staff comes in, and the hours of watching video and watching the games played and watching them in the American Hockey League and talking to people. Army has a pretty good idea of what this player can become, hence the heavy offer. But I don't know if we read into it or not right now. I'm trying not to, just because in the history of my life, when you read into things like that, it tends to go the other way. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just wait and see.
Makes sense.
Question number two.
From the 314, doesn't the organization's gradual decline over the past 10 years or so coincide with the departure of Jeff Lunau?
Yeah, I think that there's a correlation there, but I don't think it's just because of Lunau that the Cardinals now have gone in a different direction. You got to consider the fact that, one, Randy Flores has done a really nice job in the draft.
Well, yeah, the players. I
mean, we could sit here and talk about Dylan Carlson's having success and Lane Thomas having success and all that stuff. We talk about them having, other players moving on and doing well. Well, those players were once within the organization, which means somebody had an eye on them, which means somebody drafted them, and somewhere along the way, whether it was lack of playing time, injuries, development, whatever, it went sideways. Jack Flaherty wound up being, a big centerpiece for the Dodgers this trade deadline. Again, another guy that was in the organization. These are all players that Randy Flores had drafted. Not to mention Mason Wynn and Jordan Walker and Alec Burleson and Brandon Donovan. These are all guys that Randy Flores drafted. So I don't think it's just because Lunau is gone that the organization fell apart, or at least has not had the ultimate success. I think it's because they made a pivot
to get more hitters, more high-end hitters involved, shift away from the organizational's philosophy of pitching. I think that is one of the biggest issues. They made this foundational shift, and I think it's cost them because you gave up 2 top-end starters for Ozuna. Why? You sold out for offense, thinking that you were just going to be fine with from a pitching standpoint, and you've never been able to recoup it, in my opinion.
I think it's so hard. I think it's hard to get that right. Like, Marcell Ozuna is not a bad player. He's actually really damn good. He just wasn't as good. Right. I think he was a top 10 MVP candidate the year before he got here and the year after. Like, he's just, for whatever reason, didn't have the same level of success as he's had his entire career. But the numbers weren't terrible. So I don't think that the decision was bad. I think it did. But it also, we say that about getting rid of Alcantara and Gallen, but people fail to remember that Jack Flaherty and Reyes were graded higher than those two, and they both dealt with injuries.
Sure.
Like, you can't foreshadow 2 of your top pitchers getting injured if you're getting rid of 2 other pitchers that aren't ranked as high.
You're right.
So we talk a lot about it. Oh, you should have saw this. I remember it's just there's no way to tell. Which guy is going to perform at which level, but those guys were ranked higher and it had higher expectations than the 2 that you let go.
You're right. But if you have an organizational philosophy of we're pitching first, we're not going to give up our pitching. We're going to go in a different direction here. We're not going to give up our pitching. Maybe you don't make those moves. The Giants, the New York Giants forever, they're constantly criticized. Why are they taking it? Really? You're going to take another pass rusher in the first round? Yeah. And we're going to beat Tom Brady in 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Because why? 2 miracle passes by Eli, but mostly the defensive line beat the hell out of Brady.
Jamie took his glasses off when you mentioned the Patriots losing.
I'm always ready to go when you talk ill of the Patriots, okay?
I think you had enough success.
I know.
The rest
but you're
of the time.
talking bad about my team.
I'm not talking bad about
I can talk
them.
bad about my team.
I'm not talking bad about
those
them.
guys. What did they ever do, though? The Patriots.
I'm spitting facts.
Hot fire.
I can talk bad.
Fair.
Question number 3.
Fair.
You said hot fire, reminded me of super hot fire.
Hot fire.
All right, from the 636, do you see Cody Schrader playing for the 49ers or another NFL team for a number of seasons, or do you think he will be playing for the Battlehawks by next spring? Be honest, fellas.
I don't think he's got a path to playing for the Niners. You've got Christian McCaffrey, Elijah Mitchell, Jordan Mason, Matt Breida. I mean, Breida's probably not going to make the team. I don't think that Schrader's going to carve out a role for himself. Do they stuff him on the practice squad? Maybe. Does another team look at him? Yeah, I think.
Is he under contract technically, Carey, with the 49ers?
So,
How does it work?
I forget who I was talking to, but he did get I think a pretty large signing bonus for an undrafted rookie.
Okay.
His money feels like it's not the normal amount you get for an undrafted rookie.
So he's under contract then?
Well,
but he couldn't just leave and go to a different team?
No. He's under contract until they decide that he's not under contract. Okay. So, yeah, he is under contract, and I don't know if it's a 2-year or 3-year deal that they gave him, which obviously none of it is guaranteed except for what you signed at your signing bonus. I think his path to making a team is going to be special teams, and it's not going to be filling in for Christian McCaffrey. So let's not go that far. He was a hell of a running back at Mizzou. One of the guys that I told you last week, I've never seen a guy play every down of an entire game. Run, pass, catch, block, do everything. But I don't know that his path to making this team is anything other than special teams and working his way. I mean, that's covering every kick that they have, punt team, punt return team, kickoff return, doing all of those things and being a part of it. And then earning the trust of the coaching staff to try to get more carries when a Christian McCaffrey needs a couple of plays off, or there's an injury to a couple of guys in front of you. Now you're thrusted into the starting lineup, and that's when you get an opportunity. But making this team, for me, in my opinion, is going to be special teams and being a dog on it.
Do you think that it was a good choice to go and sign with the 49ers?
I don't know what his other options were.
I don't know.
So
but there would have to be options. When you're as good as he was last year,
maybe
even some of the crap teams that have no running game would take a chance on an undrafted guy that carried Mizzou.
Maybe, but maybe not. Like he went undrafted, so clearly there was not a need from a lot of teams to draft him. So there might not have been a lot of need for other teams to reach out to him via free agency once the draft was over. So I don't know what options he had. Maybe San Francisco was the only.
The 49ers saw him and liked him. How does another team not? And
because
they don't even need him.
He might fit the style of what they have.
Yeah.
Like the Ravens look at Cody Schrader and say, we got Derrick Henry. We're more in the style of this type of running back versus, what the 49ers do, which is that zone scheme, and that is a beautiful scheme for everybody. And when you get an elite running back like Christian McCaffrey, it makes their lives much better.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you the team that should pick him up is Cincinnati.
So they have...
The Bengals run a similar offense, similar system. They traded Joe Mixon. They picked up Zach Moss, and they got Chase Brown as the backup.
Chase, I don't know who... Yeah. I think they're going to be... that might be a spot for them. They still got Travion Williams on that roster, too, who has been there for a while. So, I mean, wherever you are, when you're an undrafted rookie, running back, fullback, whatever your case may be, you're going to have to earn your stripes on special teams until there's an opportunity in front of you. Cody Schrader can run the football. He can do all of the things a running back is required to do, but he ain't going to do it at this level until he proves it on special teams. And that's going to be his end to making a team and playing and dressing every week. If you're starting on all four of those core special teams, you're going to be playing every week. And then somebody gets injured, you get an opportunity to run the ball.
We'll continue our Sports Six-Pack next on 101 ESPN.
Anthony, we always talk about how awesome our friends over at Mentality are. And you know what? Friday morning, went in to see them. Always greet you with a smile. A bunch of people sitting there in the waiting room, but everybody's having a good time. They're talking, and Angel comes over, starts to ask me how I'm feeling and the results and things like that. And it just shows me that it's not just to get you in the door. They care. And every week that I go in there, they always ask me, want to make sure everything's going okay and that the program's working and all this stuff. And you don't get that everywhere.
Yeah, how are you feeling? That's what they ask you at Mentality. And if you respond to them, you know what? Because I told them before too. You know what? A couple of weeks ago I was feeling a lot better than I am now. Maybe I'm a little sluggish. Okay, let's look at things again. We'll redraw your blood. Let's see what's going on. Because if there's something else going on, they want to know. For me, there hasn't been anything. But sometimes if they've upped their program with me, and I feel great. They always get me back on track. I love Mentality. I love the fact that I feel better, I look better-ish. And then
I look fantastic.
Thank you. And I love the fact I got the energy at the end of the day. Wake up early with the little ones, doing all the stuff before now. School coming up, work. But when I get home, man, I'm still revving to go. A lot of times we go back outside, throw the ball around or whatever. I love having that energy.
Biggest thing for me, Anthony, I feel like a man again. Like, who doesn't want that feeling, that bravado? Of course, that's what you want. And that's why you need to visit Mentality. Because if you're not feeling that way, then you need some help. And our friends over at Mentality are going to help you. And it's covered by most insurances. So, guys, absolutely no excuses. Get into Chesterfield, South County. Tell them that Anthony and Jamie sent you in. If you want more information, you can always visit them at lowtusa.com. That's Mentality, lowtusa.com.
Answer the question.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter, Andrew Marsh with the continuation of our Sports Six-Pack. Marsh, go.
Question number 4.
All right, we get a question from the 630. What do you think is a requirement for a Blues player to be elected into the Blues Hall of Fame? Jamie, who makes those choices?
Oh, yeah, I have no idea. It's way above my pay grade for starters. But I do know the organization looks at their playing career as well as contribution to the organization. So right now, the phase that they're at, for the most part, has been some of the best players. Now, Bobby Plager, certainly an exception to the rule on that one. But who could have the first class without Bobby Plager? I mean, he's instrumental with the growth of the game and representing the Blue Note. So I do know that it's impact on the organization, in the community, as well as on the ice. Right now, like, again, the phase that they're going through is some of the best players of all time. So we'll see, how it shakes up, because at some point you run out of players that were all-stars. At some point you just do. And then it'll be interesting to see if they start to venture into the lane of like a Bruce Affleck, who was a solid player in his career, never an all-star or anything like that, but then post-career did radio, TV, he did every job. He was president of the Blues at one time. Now he's president of the Blues alumni. He's always doing things in the community. Like, he's right there, Bobby Plager-ish, when it comes to not as recognizable in the community, but guys like that. So what lies ahead for somebody like Bruce Affleck? Should he be in? Absolutely. He should absolutely get a blue jacket at some point. When that is, I don't know. But I personally would like to see them go with like 3, like, for sure, like 3 of the best players. Like if you do your like Pronger, McInnes, Brett Hull, okay, and then 2 of like other type players that were either just role players and then they went on to coach the Blues for a while or work within youth hockey in the city of St. Louis. They did media or whatever. Somebody that's had a very big impact on St. Louis while representing the Blue Note at all times. I think that they should have 2 from that category every year, because the 3 that are the all-star type players, those are easy. Every year you pick 3, that's easy. Like, you're going to have those guys. What's more difficult is recognition of the other guys, and sometimes the other guys have been more instrumental to the organization overall than an all-star player that just came in here, made a whole bunch of money, played really well, and then just like, that's it, off on their horse and into the sunset. Yeah. So, I don't know. I love the concept. I love what they're doing. I think it's going to be awesome to watch this over the next 5 to 10 years.
Question number 5.
This one comes from Jigsaw. What's one specific ability you would choose to use that affects your daily life? You can't use this power to be a hero or anything and save the world. An example would be to choose the ability to make bad drivers' tires go flat whenever Jigsaw wants them to get off the road and make them late. Wow.
I'd like to have the ability to just, I don't know, produce money.
I was going to something with money, like invisible. You said not a hero. I would assume I can be a villain. I mean, I can go.
Why are you staring at U.S. Bank right across the parking lot?
Hey. Wow. I didn't even know that was over there.
Oh, yeah, right.
Jamie.
Why do you have a diagram of their lobby in your book?
Where did you get those blueprints?
That's weird.
To the vault.
What are those codes?
What are you talking about? It's just numbers. That's OPS for Nolan Gorman. What are you talking about? Yeah.
Are those all the guards' bios? What the hell?
Yeah. If you can't be a hero, be a villain.
Wow.
You want to produce money.
Yeah.
Just in your backyard.
I don't know.
I mean, it's already made. Why do I need to produce it, Jamie?
That's a good point. I'm trying to not put other people in harm's way.
I'm invisible. Nobody sees me. I mean, and I'm out.
Yeah.
They don't even know it's gone.
It's a good call. Yeah.
They don't know who took it.
Sure.
What are we doing?
What's that? Limitless with Bradley Cooper when he takes the pill?
Like that ended well.
Well, hey, hold on. It did end well. He was great. Hey, got a little sidetracked there. You did fine.
Good luck, Anthony.
Okay, fine.
Do you want to take
But
a
like
little
that,
blue
but
pill?
not the pill. Nope, no pill. I just have it.
Oh, okay.
Every day.
Every day.
Oh, you
Every
just
day.
have it.
Yeah. That would be my ability.
The way I feel right now is I'm already there. We get to mentality once a week. You got me on my own personal program. And although I may not be the villain or the superhero that Carey Davis wants, I feel pretty damn special.
Yeah, you do.
That's a mentality.
2 locations.
I think that I would like the ability to slow my metabolism down for the rest of my life.
No, you don't.
Slow it down?
Take it
Why
back
would you?
now.
Is it? No, I'm sorry, not slow
speed
it
it
down.
up?
I'm sorry, speed it up.
I
I don't want to slow it down.
You don't want to slow it down.
I'm speeding up my metabolism. That way I,
26, 27 years
My
old.
bad.
Talking about slow my.
You know what I was trying to say.
I'm tired of being slim and in shape.
I'm trying to look in this good.
That's what I would do.
All right. Appreciate all
Question
the
number 6.
questions. Here's one more.
From the 314, do the Cardinals even know how to rebuild their team?
No. We'll tell you why next on 101 ESPN.
Gentlemen, paying too much for your ED meds? Let's just quit that, okay? Again, you know that I don't care that you're using ED meds. What I care about is that you're ready when it's game time. And the Medicine Shop in St. Charles, they are your destination for cheap ED meds. They, of course, have a generic called sildenafil for less than $2 a pill. Prescription is required, of course. But yeah, less than $2 a pill, fellas. Get over to the Medicine Shop. And also, if you have other medicines that you require on a regular basis, but you can't get to the pharmacy, crazy schedule, kids got after-school activities because school just started up again, don't worry about it. The Medicine Shop will come to you. They offer free, discreet shipping and delivery to your home or your workplace. And they do that anytime that you refill your prescriptions, whatever. It's an automatic service that you can sign up for. I use it, and I absolutely love it. And let's not forget that the pharmacy overall is fantastic. The people that work there are awesome. I call them my pharmacy family because they're always there to help me when I have questions. And they'll do the same for you, too. So please walk in. Tell them Jamie Rivers sent you. They love hearing that. But if you can't get there in person, it's pretty easy to get there online. They got a brand new website. It is stcharles.medicineshop.com. That's stcharles.medicineshop.com.
not going to bring someone up to bring someone up. He's young. If he comes up, he's got to play. And, more importantly, I'd like to see him, string together a few great weeks.
So is John Mozeliak talking about Jordan Walker. Hey, you're not going to just bring the kid up and let him sit on the bench.
What day was that? Trade deadline?
I think that was the trade deadline.
What day was the trade deadline? July 30th?
Yes.
July 30th.
Yeah. August is when
30th.
Jordan Walker went on a tear. So, that's interesting.
That's like an old
Things
tweet.
change.
It's like an old tweet that just reared its ugly head.
That did not age well,
No.
did it? No.
So 2 weeks later.
Yeah. Marsh, you were actually talking about the Cardinals retool, and I thought you brought up an interesting point about whether or not the Cardinals even know how to get out of a retool.
Yeah, when was the last time that this team was in a position like this? Like, you could go back to those years where they missed the playoffs in the 2010s, like the late 2010s, and they ended up firing Mike Matheny.
Mm-hmm.
But those teams were still, like, in playoff contention down to the final week of the season. And then you have that year in 2007, you have 2008, like around that time. But I don't think you necessarily were going to go into like a full rebuild or a retool. You still had guys like Albert Pujols on your team. Like, you had dudes on your team. You just had some injury issues. This team it's just different. John Mozeliak and their group, like, when have they ever had to deal with something like this? And because they haven't, I don't know if they can actually get it done. Like I said in the office, it reminds me of when the Russian coach is yelling at his goaltender in the movie Miracle, and Herb Brooks is like, he doesn't know what to do. Because they've never been in that spot before.
Right. Yeah, I don't. Go ahead, Carey.
No, I was going to say, I don't know. I mean, you should know how to respond if your team is not performing well. Get players that perform well. Like, I don't know if it's that cut and dry.
It should be that easy.
Like, find people that do their job better than the ones that aren't.
Right.
And it's not about, I think the Cardinals have kind of romanticized, I think the organization romanticizes players because of the back of the baseball card and who they are and what they are. And sometimes it's like, yeah, that was good. He had a good run, did great. But at what point do you say this version that we're seeing now is the version that we're probably going to get going forward? I was watching the game on Saturday, and Waino was talking about, oh, yeah, Paul Goldschmidt, next year is going to be the year that he's going to be back and he's going to be better than he is this year. And I feel like that's the mindset that the Cardinals have.
Did you see the so Waino?
It's because it is their mindset.
Yes.
Anthony, Waino drops that nugget that he thinks Goldie's going to come back better than ever.
Yeah.
And then, unbeknownst to Waino, Fox puts the graphic on the last 3 years of the steady decline of Paul Goldschmidt versus the fastball.
Yeah, and as soon as Waino started talking, he missed the fastball. Like, he was swung on it late. He's like, yeah, he missed that one.
In fairness, Waino was talking about the 2025 version of Goldie, not this one.
Correct. He's talking about in the future because he thinks that he's going to
get younger. That's how it happens.
You know what? I wish that was a real thing.
He's going to speed up his metabolism.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. Not slow it down, of course.
No.
So, guys, when Jordan Walker was brought up here, he was primarily brought up here to hit against what?
The second time around?
Left-handed.
Left-handed, yeah. The latest lefties.
Right?
Yep.
Now, we went into his numbers as he was recalled, and his OPS for the last 3 years has been higher against righties than it has against lefties.
That's correct.
Let's go one step further. Further. Let's go one step further. Our buddy Bernie Miklasz, who always has good insight and numbers.
Outstanding, yeah.
To this point, after being invited back to the majors, Walker is 0 for 8 against lefties and 1 for 3 versus righties.
That's 333.
But let's keep platooning him against lefties.
Yeah.
To which he's clearly not hitting the lefties right now.
I got an idea.
Get rid of the damn
I got an idea.
Yes. You have your hand up.
I got an idea.
Carey.
Let him play. What? Every day. It's a crazy thing.
Wait, what?
So,
why would you play him?
Because Anthony,
he might get tired out.
No, guys they have been doing this for hundreds of years with this game. The guys play. They play. I mean, there's a guy in Baltimore that actually never missed a game. I don't know if you heard about him. He never missed a game.
You mean
he played? No. He was a player. He played shortstop. Hey,
Albert Bell?
No. He probably got suspended and missed a few games because of that. There's a guy.
Eddie Murray?
Nah, he played a lot of games too. He was really good, but this guy was a different guy. Cal Ripken Jr. He was a really he's a guy that
he was fine.
Just played all the time.
Did he have a nickname?
Yeah, I think he was Iron. No, that was another one.
Yeah, the Iron Man?
Iron Man? No, that's not
the Iron Horse?
Iron Horse? He was good.
I've seen that.
Played for a while. And so, I think the Cardinals should take a page out of that and say, hey, play. We'll give you a day off. You got a day off today. Hell, you don't have to play 7 days a week.
Carey, your kid's 22 years old. He doesn't need a day off ever.
Mason needed some days off earlier this year, and he's young as well.
Now, though, finally they said, okay, let's let this kid.
How's that working out for him?
He's doing
great.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What? Are you guys serious?
Yeah, but it's different. He's a shortstop.
Because that's not as taxing at all.
Nope.
Carey gets it.
This team doesn't know what to do.
I don't know what to do.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
Hold on, you're telling me.
I think there's some fans out there that might be able to string together a couple better moves.
No, wait a second here. You're telling me that when they go into this offseason and they look at the list of former Cardinals that still want to play here, and when they sign them, that is not a good roster building approach. That's what you're telling me. I don't believe it.
I don't think that's a good roster approach at all. I mean, yes, you want guys that want to play here because if you just bring them, that's
all you have
probably
to say.
illegal. Like, you can't just bring people against their will. They have to actually want to be here.
What?
But you're paying them pretty damn well. So if you turn up the payment, they might say, thing I've noticed about life, if you give someone a little more money, like, you know what? That's not a bad place at all. I was thinking about it,
I love it. Toasted Smaviolis.
Yep, I think I could do it. Give them a little more money.
The zoo is free.
And save money there. Yeah. No, it's free.
Shout out to our guy, Kyle Homer.
Indeed.
Yeah, absolutely. 5:13, your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex Jewelers. It's still possible for the Blues to acquire Holloway and Broberg amidst the Oilers' latest transactions. Jamie did a deep dive onto the Oilers' website. He sleuthed some information
it's
for
really
you.
hard to click.
Next on 101 ESPN. Jamie, what do you know about FHA loans to conventional loans?
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I don't either. Should we call Stewie?
We better.
Okay. Get Stewie on. Oh, he's already on the line. Perfect. Stewie, I'll tell you what. I don't know. Jamie doesn't know, but you know. FHA, 2 conventional loans. What do we need to know? I think we're having some trouble here with Stewie, so we're going to get him back on the line. Stewie, you there?
Hello?
There we go. You're back. Start over, Stewie.
There we go. So a lot of people go out and then lenders tell them get a conventional or FHA. They're getting the credit's marginal. Low down payment, get the FHA loan. It's a bad product. The government charges unbelievable amount of fees, and every month you're paying the government. Switch from an FHA loan to conventional loan. Your payment's going to go down $100, $200, $300, $400. We just refinanced an FHA ESPN listener. His rate went down just 1/8%, but because he didn't have to pay the government fees anymore, he's saving $300 a month. And how much should he pay, guys, to do it?
Zero.
Bagel load, no closing costs, way ahead of the game.
That's our guy, Stewie. And even when he's in places where his phone's not working, well, don't worry about it. Call him anyways or text him. His personal cell phone number is 314-324-4440.
Again, that number is 314-324-4440.
And if you can't remember that, you can always Google the Bagel Loan. Thanks, Stewie.
Have a good night, guys.
NMLS number 226715.
Strap yourself in. You're in the fast lane, driven by Scrap Mart Metals Recycling on 101 ESPN.
It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. So we got a text in, and Marsh can read if you got it in front of you, Marsh, if not paraphrase. Texting about Army's route to building a team and whether or not it is the correct way to go about it.
Yes, from the 657, can you talk about why Doug Armstrong went the offer sheet route versus what the Oilers are doing to bring in similar type players? Edmonton trading Cody Ceci and pick for a controllable young defenseman and traded a pick for a young controllable forward. Both acquired players are cheap. Blues are overpaying and moving picks to accomplish a similar return.
Yeah, so Edmonton lucked out by finding a dance partner with Anthony's San Jose Sharks, who clearly don't care about winning right now. That's why they traded for Cody Ceci, who's not a really good defenseman, but he makes $3.5 million. So there probably weren't a lot of teams out there clamoring for Cody Ceci and his $3.5 million. So that right there tells you, that's kind of what went on there. But also, let's not forget, if there's anything Army's trying to ship out right now from the blue line, they have no trade clauses. So Army cannot do what Edmonton just did. Cody Ceci did not have a no trade clause, which means that he could have been sent anywhere. And at $3.5 million, that's probably $3 million less than a defenseman that you want to move on from here right now. Yeah. So that's why Army's doing it the non-conventional ways, because there's no opportunity to do it through trades or, picking up these young players. You just can't do it. And so the best way to do it is to find teams that are up against it from a salary cap standpoint that have good young players, and you man up and you put those offer sheets out there. Now, is he overpaying? Yeah, he is. But Army knows that. He knows going into this whole situation that he's overpaying. And I said it last week that I'm sure Army's had dialogue with the representatives for both players saying, hey, listen, we overpaid. We got you out of Edmonton. You're coming to St. Louis. But your next contract, don't expect this number to be the starting point as to your raise. Like, your number for the starting point will be what would your qualifying offer have been based upon what you should have been paid.
Right.
And then we'll go from there. Or we'll just keep it plateaued for another 2 years at the 4.5 or 2.8, whatever it is that Holloway's been offered. If you don't do that, then you're in a heap of trouble, because if the player expects to go from 4.5 and in 2 years get up to the 6.5, no, Now, if he's a franchise defenseman and he's now 2 years into it, the second year he's Colton Parayko's left-handed defense partner playing shutdown minutes against the best players in the league, and he's still only 25 years old, you might want to entertain a long-term deal at that point, 7-8-year deal, lock him up. But again, it won't be based off the 4.5. It can't be. From a business standpoint, Army has to be very clear and say, hey, that's not the starting point.
Right.
Let's pretend you made $2 million the last 2 years. So our contract extension would be 8 years at $6 million per season or whatever. I'm just making up some numbers right now.
Sure.
So then on paper, it's only $1.5 million raise for Broberg, but it's really like a $4 million raise based upon where he should have been. I'm assuming Army had these conversations. He doesn't miss any details, so I can't imagine he's going to let that slide.
Are the Blues getting better players in their trade than what the Oilers are getting back? Is Broberg going to be considered better than Emberson in terms of, because I think what the texter is asking is why wouldn't the Blues, other than the inability to trade some of these players,
there you go,
going and get a player?
What was that word again?
Inability.
There you go.
Okay,
that's the bottom line. You don't have the chance.
You don't have an opportunity.
You don't have the opportunity, and that's the difference. And that's why Army couldn't just go trade for Emberson.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, we'll add that guy. He'd be a good ad, right?
Is he better than Broberg?
No.
Okay. Well, then that's probably
he
a part of it as well.
Be either.
Yeah.
He had an okay season last year with San Jose, but here's the thing, Carey, and you know this. On a bad team, he played high minutes. It doesn't matter.
No.
Right? It doesn't matter.
We call that empty calories.
Yeah, empty calories.
A guy scores 40 points a night for the team that won 10 games. You're really good on a bad team, sir.
And
congratulations.
I bring this up because I'm not going to lie. I was that guy a couple times where I got traded to teams that weren't very good, and I'm playing 23, 24 minutes a game. No point was I delusional thinking that I'm a 25-minute-a-game guy with the Detroit Red Wings.
Right.
No, I knew where I was at, but this situation here is similar to that, where you have a bad team, you have a good young defenseman, so you play him as much as you possibly can. Will he play like that in Edmonton? No, he won't. He won't get those minutes in Edmonton. Whereas Broberg, I think Broberg can get those minutes.
Mm-hmm.
If he's playing well here for the Blues, Broberg's going to play anywhere between 17 and 21 minutes a night, depending on the situations. I don't believe he's a power play guy. In fact, I know he's not, but he could be a really good penalty kill guy. So if you have a game with lots of penalties in it, and he's partnered up with Colton Parayko, now you're that 20-plus minute a game as far as a defenseman's concerned. So I don't know. I like Broberg.
So what do you... Because there's a deadline coming up here, correct? So and we should know.
The deadline is 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, which is 7:30.
Can you go over that again for those that missed it?
Yeah, so Army, I don't know this for a fact, but knowing the individual, I think he strategically, like as soon as the phones and the computers turned on at the NHL offices, put in this signed offer sheet at 9:30 a.m. last Tuesday. What that did essentially is, instead of a 7-day window, so had Army done it at noon, the Oilers could get up tomorrow morning and still continue to whittle away until 10 a.m. their time, and then 11 a.m. here, noon as far as the Eastern teams are. So everybody's kind of doing business starting about 9 a.m. in the morning.
Right.
But what he did is he removed that ability, because now the Oilers, their deadline is at 7:30 a.m. Mountain Time, and so nobody's doing business with the Oilers at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Like, they're just not. So the Oilers pretty much have to make a decision. Not pretty much. They have to make a decision tonight as to what they're going to do with Broberg and Holloway. Now they can get up in the morning at 7:30 and say, hey, by the way, we matched or we didn't. Press conference later. Like, they can do that. But internally, they have to make those decisions now.
Yeah, because they got the audit going on here. They got to figure out what, from a cap standpoint, where they're going to be, not only at the start of the season, but throughout the course of the season. We've seen Doug Armstrong do this too. Save a little bit of cap space for himself in case something goes haywire. And you have to have a little cash to make a move, depth or otherwise. So,
and I think the more that this drags on, and the more I think about it, I just don't think the Oilers are going to match either player.
You don't?
I think what they did is they went out and found what they believe to be reasonable replacements for them for a lot cheaper, knowing that they will have cap space at some point to make a move at the trade deadline. And again, the Oilers are going to be good enough to where they will be a playoff team. They're not going to be the bottom of the barrel. They're not going to start like they did last year and have to fire a coach and things like that.
Sure.
So if it was me, if I was Stan Bowman, I would not match the offer, because matching the offers cripples you from a cap standpoint and puts you behind the 8 ball, not just for this year, but for next year as well. And it also screws with the extension that you'd like to put in place for Leon Draisaitl.
Yeah.
So if I was Stan Bowman, I would walk from these players. And Army, I praise him tremendously for being aggressive and thinking outside the box based on the fact that he had no ability to make an honest trade out there via no trade clauses and things like that. He found a way around that.
No doubt. All right. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We got the biggest question of the day coming up next.
People are talking about Window Nation. Their customer, Vicky, says, we couldn't be happier. This was a great experience. She's just one of over 33,000 five-star reviews, and that's because Window Nation is all about value. And this August, they're giving you a great value during the Window Nation anniversary sale. Right now, buy 2 windows, and you'll get 2 free. There's no limit to how much you can save. Plus, you can save big with no interest or payments for 24 months. Act now, and you'll get an additional $250 credit. Window Nation values your satisfaction in their quality, service, and affordability. That's why they stand behind their windows with a lifetime warranty, and they will make sure that you can get that window done in 1 day or less. Window Nation is also recently ranked highest on Forbes' list of best window installation companies, so you can trust Window Nation for high quality, affordable windows. Stop paying more than you have to. Hurry. The sale ends August 31st, so schedule a fast in-home estimate right now. 866-90Nation, or visit them online at windownation.com. Again, that's buy 2, get 2 free, and you have a lifetime warranty. 866-90Nation or online at windownation.com.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals have the day off, but they'll take on the Milwaukee Brewers tomorrow with Eric Fetty on the mound going up against Frankie Montas. First pitch is at 6:45. The Cardinals look to get back in the win column after losing yesterday to the Los Angeles Dodgers by a final score of 2-1. Hopefully they can gain some ground against the Milwaukee Brewers. If you missed any of our conversations from today, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Just head to that podcast page and you'll find all of our full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We have biggest question of the day coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by
Saliga
Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's time for the Fast Lane's biggest question of the day.
It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. Here's Andrew Marsh with the biggest question of the day.
All right, guys, we were talking earlier about the Brewers and how they managed to best the Cardinals once again. Well, in that conversation, we got a text from the 314. Milwaukee Stadium helps them add lesser offensive players. That place is a lot easier to hit than at Busch Stadium for 81 games. And we had this conversation earlier in the break, but I wanted to bring it up on air. Have teams gone away from building their teams based on their ballpark?
Yeah, I think they have largely done that because of the analytics approach and just kind of trying to find the quote-unquote three true outcome players, and then also just, hey, any pitcher that throws 95 plus will do, you know? You get closer to 100 miles per hour, we'll just take you no matter what. And that has become this cookie-cutter approach. It's why I think Major League Baseball, quite frankly, has become homogenized. Like, every team's the same. Every team's built the same way. One of the cool things about Major League Baseball is that every stadium is different. It's not like in basketball or football or hockey.
Pretty much
the
like
dimensions.
Hockey,
yeah, I know there's a little bit of differences maybe.
Well, the dimensions are all the same in hockey.
Exactly.
Just the buildings look a little, but they used to be cookie cutter, but now they're trying to get back to being original.
Right. So in baseball, you have pitchers' parks, you have hitters' parks, you have parks like Busch Stadium that are a little bit more pitcher friendly, but overall, it's kind of a balanced ballpark. And I think teams have gotten away from building their roster to match the ballpark. I think the Cardinals got away from that too. They decided after, stockpiling pitching that they were going to make this organizational shift to get more hitters in. And yeah, it's produced some pretty good hitters. Guys are either on the team right now or elsewhere, unfortunately. And now the pitching isn't great, and you're waiting for some of these young pitchers to come back through. I think teams should build to the specifics of the ballpark. Maybe not have that be the end all be all, but you got a pitcher's park. But make sure you got pitchers.
Did the Cardinals not do that?
They used to.
But did they not do that though? Because they've got pitch to contact pitchers with a big ballpark. And that's been the philosophy for them. They're all pitch to contact.
But I'm talking about like investing in, there was a time where it was like all they did was invest in high-end pitchers, whether it's in the first round, second round, that was the organizational focus.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I understand that. But did they not try to do that here with this pitching staff?
They changed to pitch to contact, yes.
I understand.
Because they made the change to we're going to go to high-end offense.
So you think they went strictly to high-end offense rather than playing the ballpark? Because Adam Wainwright has said several times that that's why they have the pitch to contact staff primarily. It's because it's a big ballpark.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then wouldn't this current staff that they have be exactly what they need for this ballpark?
Not if those pitch to contact guys suck.
Correct. Okay. Okay. No, Carey, hang up. We're getting somewhere now. Okay, Anthony's opening up. This is good. It's nice. But going back to the original point that I made.
Yeah.
I know that these pitch-to-contact pitchers are underperforming. Or, in your words, they suck.
Yeah.
Okay?
Performing right what they are.
I'm sorry, they're not good.
But the thought
They're working hard, though, Anthony.
from the organization was to find pitchers to play to the ballpark. Would you
Yes.
not agree to that?
I would agree to
So
that.
then they are doing that. They just picked the wrong guys.
Sure. Yes.
Okay.
I
I'm
think
just trying to get there, you know?
Okay. Can I rephrase? Can I have an opportunity to rephrase?
It's America. You can do whatever you want, Anthony.
Not only do the pitchers suck, but so does the front office and the roster building philosophy.
Yeah, and I would agree with that.
So is it?
That has
is
nothing
it-
to do with the ballpark.
Is it about the ballpark, or because I think the issues that you've seen over these last 2 years have more to do with Busch Stadium hasn't changed, but what has changed? The rules.
The shift.
You
right.
can't have a shift.
Sure.
You got bigger bases, and the Cardinals are getting stole on like nobody's business.
Like Carey
You got
Davis in the bank.
Like me, invisible in the bank, being a villain.
Yep.
Like you're getting stolen. You got less throws over to first base to hold runners on. Like, so is it that they didn't build the roster, or they didn't adapt to what was required?
Yes.
You're not. Again, we talk about being proactive and being reactive. For me,
They're reactive
they are
always.
extremely reactive
Yes.
to what's taking place.
Yeah, they're reactive
we don't
2
hit
years late,
left-handed.
though.
We don't hit left-handed pitchers.
Yeah.
Let's throw right-handed batters out every single time.
Right.
That doesn't matter if they don't hit left-handed pitchers well, sir. Like, I think they are very reactive in a lot of things that they do, as opposed to being proactive and doing it before it becomes an issue. And I think these last 2 years are prime examples of that.
Yeah, I agree. No, I agree, Carey. I think that they are constantly reactive, and they go almost year by year. I know Mo has talked about having a 3 to 5 year window, but there always seems to be like this miss. Like your 3 to 5 window right now has to include bridge pitchers because your young pitchers aren't ready.
But you even in the signings that they went to do this offseason, you signed 2 pitchers that pitch to contact. Like, they give up a lot of hits, which is fine if I can put 3 people on one side of the infield,
right?
Or put somebody
and a couple
in
of guys
short
on top
right
of the
field.
walls.
Yeah, I mean, Spider-Man is good if he can play. If you sign him.
They tried that with Ozuna.
Well, you know, Anthony, the sun got in his eyes and the lights.
Yeah,
so
the
what
new
happened
LED
that day?
lights.
The new
Spider-Man's
LED lights
not
and
good in
the
the clubhouse,
sun.
though.
I don't know.
No,
really?
that's what I hear.
I don't know.
I mean, they want to allow
Your
him.
spidey sense is always tingling. It makes the guys a little weird.
I will say they didn't allow him to become an Avenger until the entire universe was like
falling apart.
Well, you know, they didn't allow him to be an Avenger.
He's the last pick at the schoolyard.
He was bad in the clubhouse.
In
Now no one remembers him.
In fairness to Spider-Man, he was a kid. And
He was a child.
Iron Man,
A child.
he saw the ability. He thought ahead with him. He was. I was going to use a word there that probably wouldn't be appropriate. He was developing Spider-Man.
What word were you going? Don't say
Start
it.
with a G.
Oh, don't know.
Okay.
There's a lot of.
We'll figure that
We'll
out.
come back to that.
Instead of developing.
Oh yeah,
You know?
yeah. Probably should stay away from that
Exactly.
one.
So Iron Man saw potential in Spider-Man. It wasn't like, oh, the world's ending, let's just bring in Spider-Man. I think he saw, as a young kid, he wanted to bring him along slowly.
Anthony, he literally snuck onto a spaceship. And even when they were in space, Iron Man didn't want him there.
Iron Man's kind of a jerk, though. Let's
Kid
just
made
be
a lot
honest.
of mistakes.
That
okay?
guy's rich. He's a little arrogant.
Well, but that's Iron Man.
I
You already
know.
have a Captain America.
But you can't just let him be. You can't just let him fly under the radar.
The biggest mistake that Iron Man made was not allowing more of the Winter Soldier. Now, granted, the Winter Soldier killed his parents, but he didn't know he was doing it.
It's getting worse. This is getting worse.
He didn't know he was under the spell. You know what I mean?
What spell was that?
There's like
Long story.
10 words. You just start naming them, and he turns into a psychopath.
He didn't want to do it.
This Avengers stuff sounds a little weird. I'm not going to lie.
It's
You haven't
incredible.
gotten into it?
It's incredible,
No.
Jamie. You got to get into it.
You gotta watch
I
it.
watch a few of the movies with the kids, but not like into it.
I want to do what Anthony
Should be.
did and start it from the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Is it chronological order? How it's supposed to be
Disney
watched?
Plus had them all.
Yeah.
Like not what
Not
year
the
they
release
came
date.
out.
Yeah.
but how you're supposed to watch them based on like the timing of all the movies.
I don't want to be told what to do.
We know that
It's
about
good,
you.
man. Yeah.
If I don't know anything else, don't tell Jamie what to do. He is stubborn as they come.
He is. He definitely
I don't know
is.
how to take that, Carey.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We got Bet the Board, 3 stars of the day, criticisms, compliments next. If you're having issues right now with your roof, whether it's leaking, it's damaged, or you don't know if you've got hail damage, but all your neighbors are calling roofers, so you might as well get somebody to check it out, call the Happy Roof Company. They're fantastic. They've got cost-effective solutions on flat roofing and metal roofs, and if your insurance company has already paid you for some recent hail damage, but you just need an estimate, Happy Roof Company, they got free estimates with competitive pricing. They do residential and commercial roofing. They only use superior, high-end products. Let me slow down. A lot of contractors, in fact, are trying to install the cheapest shingles possible. But if you ask yourself, why aren't they offering Class 3 shingles? Happy Roof Company, they do that. They offer Class 3 impact-resistant shingles on all their estimates, and most of the time this can be included in the insurance cost without any additional out-of-pocket expense to you. So, if you're dealing with a damaged roof, call the Happy Roof Company, A-plus rating with the BBB, and when you call, they'll have somebody to come out and look at your issue within 24 hours. 314-665-3001, thehappyroof.com. It's the Happy Roof Company.
miss anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast available at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 ESPN mobile app. Are you jamming? This seems loud.
It is loud, yeah.
What?
I was looking at the wrong stack, you know.
No, you're fine. Yeah.
There's different stacks, and obviously...
you better turn it down before they get upset.
Yeah,
like they
man.
did
They'll start
earlier.
yelling at you.
Text line guy didn't like the music.
No, he didn't.
Like, the OG, like...
Yeah.
Like,
the Let's Get Nasty.
Let's Get Nasty music.
Theme song.
Didn't like it.
Yeah.
We only play
He's
it
like,
every
I'm
day.
changing the channel. We're like,
I wonder if he's back.
well, fastlane yourself.
You think he's back? Yeah. Well, you're welcome back. We love all our listeners. Anthony. He's welcome.
No, we do. We love all
We've
our
had
listeners.
listeners leave and then come back.
I mean, they
Same
often-
day.
Yeah, same segment.
Same segment.
Yeah.
I don't think they leave.
I'm never coming back. And then
They're the
5 minutes
snake
later,
pit.
Gary, you bring up a good point. If I may.
They don't know we can see the timestamp of their texts.
Or that we have an entire, like, chat with everything that they've ever said on their text.
We don't forget
ever, Bob.
anything.
Ever.
Again, though, if you missed the podcast, you can download it at 101ESPN.com or your 101 ESPN mobile app. It's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Time to bet the board. Marsh, you got latest standings for us, kid?
I certainly do, Anthony. Carey Davis is leading the pack with 9 points on the month. Anthony, you're right behind Carey with 8. Jamie's right behind you with 7. And I am in last place with 5.
Oh, sorry about that.
Sorry to hear that. Tough.
Okay, so Carey, then me, then
All right.
Jamie Rivers.
We're going to go Mookie Betts. 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, minus 145.
I'm going to go Dodgers minus 135 with Gavin Stone on the hill. They are facing Wu from Seattle, who's been excellent this year.
Katie?
But Seattle can't. No, not Katie. Brian. Brian Wu. But Seattle can't hit. So I'll take the Dodgers minus 135.
I will take the Tampa Bay Rays money line over the Oakland A's, minus 118.
All right.
And I'm going to take the Los Angeles Dodgers and Seattle Mariners under 8 runs tonight. I like the pitching matchup.
The aforementioned Brian Wu?
Yes. Under
versus
8
Gavin
runs.
Stone. All right. There you go. There you have it. So that was about the board. Now, Marsh has got some criticism and some compliments.
Yes, let's start with the 314. We were just talking about Iron Man and Spider-Man, and the 314 says that Iron Man platooned Spidey.
He did. Yeah, he did. Yeah, if Iron Man was running things for a Major League Baseball team, it'd probably be the Cardinals.
Did it work? It worked in the grand scheme of things.
Ish.
There's no way. He's
worked
definitely
ish.
running the Dodgers.
Yeah, he's got money.
He's
got too much
spending
money.
That's
He's
right.
right.
A lot too much money.
Which Avenger would
Be a Cardinal?
Yeah.
Probably.
Hawkeye?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Well, maybe Spider-Man. He's kind of poor. Peter Parker's has no money.
He's living with his grandma.
No, he's living with his aunt.
Yeah, Aunt May.
Aunt May.
Saving money.
Well, actually, in the movies,
He's living with Aunt May.
well,
Yeah.
What?
No.
He killed his aunt?
no, he didn't kill her. The Green Goblin
How
did.
can he be a hero if he's killing his
That's
family?
the other movies.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like 3 different
Didn't she
franchises. No, not in the most recent one. She's gone.
That's a tough break for the kid.
Tough. And
Loses his
everyone
parents
everyone doesn't know who he is.
That's
The little
tough,
smell.
man. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Joe Boo's jockstrap. Hey, Jamie, how did Fam do? Remember I picked him instead of showing him Tommy?
Yeah.
Oh, you weren't? Yeah, you were here.
I was here. Yeah.
That was my play.
Yeah.
What did you pick?
Shut up, Joe.
Was that
Boo.
Friday?
We had beat the streak,
We beat
and
the
Jamie
streak.
had the first pick.
Oh,
Yeah.
And his
Took a
first
Cardinal.
overall pick was Tommy Pham.
Yeah, I blacked
With the
out.
Dodgers in town.
When I said if I was driving a car right now, I would have crashed.
Yeah.
Literally the same thing happened.
You just blacked out for a moment.
I totally forgot that they're playing the Dodgers that have like 7 all-star players.
My whole list was Dodgers except for Mason Wynn.
And you got Mason Wynn.
Yeah.
Take it another step,
Yeah,
though.
my bad for spoiling that.
Take it another step, though, Jamie. You took the Dodgers and beat the streak in
Bet the board. I took the Dodgers to beat the Cardinals, and then I totally blanked out.
Fam, I'll take. Okay.
All righty.
You can have them.
Not great.
We get a text from the 314 beating a dead horse, but every radio sports personality who repeatedly said the Cardinals will win the division before the All-Star break should be fired. We've sucked all season.
Oh, no.
Well, that's it.
Well, tomorrow,
guys, today was
just
my
wanna
last
let you know,
day. Yep.
expect dead airwaves from 7 a.m. till 6 p.m.
Ah, you guys will be here. You're leaving? No, you'll be here.
No, I can't.
No, I said I still think they'll win the division before the.
I did place a bet.
You did. You still think that, Anthony, right now?
No, oh God, no. No, I'm just saying I said it at the All-Star break, like this texter's saying. So that'll do it for me.
That's thanks, man.
Yes,
It's
it
been
does.
fun while it lasted, guys.
Well, it certainly was. Yeah, it certainly was. Thank you for being there.
From the 636, Captain America would be a Cardinal. Being from the past, he would think 25 cents is expensive.
That's a good one. Nice save, Captain America. That's a good call.
Lisa says, have a great night, guys.
Thank you.
Hey, is it Randy Carricker's birthday today?
It is his birthday.
Happy birthday to RK.
Hey,
happy birthday to the one and only Randy Carricker.
Yes.
There's a bunch of balloons in our office, like this big balloon.
Yeah, it's like a big balloon party.
Yeah. Well, no, that's different. That's a show.
You're not wrong.
On 101 ESPN.
Don't jump all over him like that.
I'll jump on who? Never mind. Marsh, you were saying?
I was just saying the balloons look really cool. They're not like your typical balloons, like a normal balloon that, a creepy clown would be carrying around.
Yeah.
They're like balloons, like balloon animals, but one of them is Randy with a golf a golf club.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
I think it was a wedge.
It is.
Yeah. No, you guys said it right.
Yep.
Happy birthday, Randy.
How'd you know it was a wedge?
I looked at it.
He saw the angle.
Yep.
Yeah. I saw that. We don't have a ton of criticisms or compliments coming in. I guess everyone thinks we're fired.
Joe Boo said, enjoy the show because it's like sitting around talking sports with your buds. He's right.
Attaboy, Joe.
We appreciate it.
He
He goes, a lot of anger for a Monday. He's also right. Not on this show, though, I don't feel. I feel like...
We're pretty much, the word I was going to use was detached. I don't know that we're detached from the Cardinals. I know Jamie has been, panting, ready for Blues season 2. Like a dog. Ready? I saw you when I came in. I was like, what the hell is he doing? Blues around the corner.
Marking my territory.
Training camp. That was a little weird because...
it kind of smelled, too.
Yeah, but then that's my area, okay?
Jamie, I think you've done great.
I had a whole bunch of asparagus last night.
Oh, boy.
Just so you mother fast lanes know what my area is around here.
Yep, that was tough.
That was bad. I was wondering what was going on in there.
You're fine.
One last criticism or compliment from Jamie's Vacation Speedo. I missed the whole show for the most part. Sure, it was awesome, though, still. There's still, though.
Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you can check out the podcast anytime you want, really. Don't forget about that.
So we get one here from the 636. Says 5 o'clock hour is always my favorite. First few minutes of the segment is about sports, and then the rest is about who knows what. Love the show, guys. Always a blast.
We talked about it on Friday. We may need a nap
before the 5 o'clock hour.
Before the 5 o'clock hour, so we finish strong. But I don't know. This texture's on to something. It typically is our best.
Yeah.
Ish.
I think they like the reprieve from just talking sports.
Yeah, I think we get tuckered out.
Yeah, a little bit.
3 stars of the day. Third star goes to speeding up your metabolism.
No, don't want to slow it down.
We were talking about heroes not too long ago, the Avengers. Our second star goes out to a villain, CD, the invisible villain.
Yeah, CD starts talking about robbing banks. Invisibly.
Invisibly.
Yep.
And our first star of the day goes out to a guy who took a lot of money from a particular football team. That's Daniel Jones.
Yes, Daniel Jones was the correct answer to our
two
Blues
things
ticket
you'll never
giveaway.
see together: Daniel Jones and first star.
Correct. Absolutely. For Andrew Marsh, for Carey Davis, for Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. We'll see you tomorrow at 2 o'clock. See ya.